Yes, Kevin McDonald. Thanks for coming on, big boy. How are you doing?
All good, mate. Yeah, all good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's it? How's life in the big smoke?
Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, it's different as you can imagine from obviously being back up there, but it's you get on with it at the end of the day. It is what it is, and it's good for, as you can imagine, nightlife and everything else. But apart from that, it's busy as anything at times, but it's all good.
Have they still got my statue at Brick Lane?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you. I think they still get a statue in the police station. That's about
Oi, just the same as your game last night, mate. All right, just sit on your arse and we'll get a laugh for 90 minutes.
it. Yeah, I done the same last night as well.
What's happening, mate? The puppeteer sitting on the bench.
I don't know, man. Football's gone. No, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's you've seen it all before. Like out with the old and in with the new, isn't it? But like it is what it is. What it is. Like you get on with it. You be in the position yourself. Like, you just get on with it, and you support the team. And when you're ready to play, you go and play. So it's one of them things.
Money still goes in the bank in the 31st, mate. That's all that matters. For people that didn't know, me and Kev go way back. First time I met him, Celtic boys v Carnoustie at Lockheed Park. Do you want to remember? We were trying to clear the needles off the pitch, and you were sitting on the side eating like crumpets and jam for your pre-match.
To be fair, I remember using to play obviously ourselves in Dundee United, like social club or whatever it was, boys club or whatever, and we used to be like going up there shitting ourselves, thinking from Carnoustie and stuff, it's like posh little place, and I go up Dundee, we're shitting ourselves. First 5 minutes of the game, you're getting volleyed all over the gaff. The parents are like shouting from the side, and we're like, "Come on, relax a bit here. Come on, we're 10 years old here." That was mad.
Mate, but you were huge, man. I remember being like 9 and looking at you and thinking, we all thought you were on the roids at 9, man.
No, I was tall from a young age. Yeah, you're right, man. But no, it was. I tell you what, it was more intimidating for us than it was for you boys, I'm sure.
Yeah, how did you? I was saying about the size of you, right? But you always had a touch of an angel, man. Where did that come? Like being for Carnoustie, because you go to Carnoustie, mate, nobody plays football. How did you get in it?
I think probably just similar to most young kids. Like you get a ball from your parents, whatever. You're battering it around the streets, and you're playing with your mates down the park or whatever from a young age. I think it's one of them. It's the same as everyone, and it's some people can kick the ball and control the ball, and some are absolute garbage. That's why you put them in the goals, isn't it? No, it's I'm just the same as yourselves. Like just obviously naturally like all right on the ball, and luckily enough, it's managed to see me kind of through a career. Because apart from that, physically and that, I'm shambolic. So
and you're thick as shit as well.
Yeah, I've gone at that. Yeah, I'm not the brightest in the toolbox.
Okay, who picked you up in Dundee? Was it Jim Cannon?
Is that what his name was? Was it Jim Cameron? Was it?
You want to see the wee fat guy with the moustache? Him.
I think it might have been, but there's someone else I can't think who it was. You know that he was the one when you get picked up from like a little kind of joy, and then you work your way up to Jim Cameron, isn't it? Like, that's how it obviously works. So it wasn't him, but I don't know what the boy's name was, but he obviously put me in touch with obviously him, and after that, it was the big man took over from there. Yeah.
And Dundee Youth, mate, what a laugh. What some Dundee up at that time was Scott Robertson, who obviously went on to play for Dundee and Dundee United. His mum used to wear a pair of lottos on the side of the pitch. She was basically the assistant manager, and she used to hand out the juice at half time, didn't she?
You know what? It was like Robbo was obviously such a fantastic guy. When we were obviously coming through at Dundee, like it was top. It was like he was the biggest professional in the world, and we'd go down to I don't know what the place was called. Where did they used to train again? It was like
was it the disc?
There was the disc was a couple of times. And there was it was like a school. It was like, I don't know, some school it was used to train at, and we used to go down there. And obviously as young boys, you set up all the gear and stuff like that, and the posts and all whatever else. And we used to say, someone told me about it. He goes, wait till you see Robbo's mum down there. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, go down there and like, you see like a woman like poking through the trees, like a little sniper in the trees. I think, nah, surely not. She goes, I swear, watches every training session. And I was like, what? And it was a great laugh. It was, and Robbo was so embarrassed. He was like, he's the nicest guy, and he was so embarrassed. But his mum loved it and loved seeing his son playing football, and it was an experience, man. Yeah.
Diane Robbo, what a woman. What other good characters were there? Bobby Lynn was funny, mate. Wasn't he? Guys like that. It was a good upbringing, right?
I actually missed out that one. I was just after that. I think he was playing the first team like properly, and he was like established by then. I was just kind of just coming in, so I was kind of on the fringes at that point, so I didn't really see. But he was, every time you seen him, it was one of them we were shy, and he was chirpy around the place, and he had the place, he had the place on toast, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, there's a few characters there was. Obviously, when I was coming through, I was with like your Swankies and obviously Scott Robertson, and then obviously when I got into the team and your Derek Lyles, as you mentioned, and your Andy McLarens and all sorts. So it was a good bunch. It was Lee Wilkes and stuff. It was a good bunch of boys.
I talking about being on the fringes. What's happening with that fringe, mate? That needs a chop.
You know what? If you can see closely, I've probably got about another 3 haircuts left in there.
Brilliant. Kev, you got in the first team at 17. So what, did you just go full time at 16 and then within a year flung straight into the first team?
I actually got bombed from Dundee United early doors. They said I was too small. After you saying I was quite tall, I got bombed from well, one of them usual excuses. He's too small. Like it's an easy excuse. I was about 6'5" when I was about 16. I was like, you all right? So I was gone. I was thinking, my career's done here before it's even started. And then luckily enough, I got picked up by Dundee and went in there. And to be honest with you, I went quite quick from there. I played a few 18s games and established myself. Had a good season with the under 18s. And when they're shorter players, the reserves, come on up, come join us we need you on the bench. And luckily enough, I managed to come on a couple of games and done well, and then just kind of built my way up. And next minute there was a few injuries again. First team or boys just not wanting to play, and then next minute I was playing my debut at Breaking Away, and it was like, here we go. Like it was
Breaking Away.
Breaking Away was a debut. Yeah, I scored on my debut away, and I remember walking into the changing room, thinking to myself, like at the time I was buzzing. When I look back now, I'm thinking, fuck me, man. Why was I buzzing there? Do you know what I mean? No, it was fantastic, and since then it's kind of took off since then.
What was the championship like in the days?
It was good fun. You know what? We had a team full of kind of like jokers. When I was on as a young boy, you are automatically shy, and I'm not a shy guy, but obviously you need to be. You can't be rocking around, coming in, giving it the big one. That the senior pros are like throwing boots at your head and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. So it was good going in there and experiencing it all. Like people like Derek Lyle and
how rough is Derek Lyle on a Monday?
Yeah. At the time, I didn't take much notice, and when I think back over years past, and after speaking to him more and speaking to Gav Swanky, I used to remember looking at him on Mondays and Tuesdays, thinking to myself, "Tell you what, he's had a right go on the drink here." But he didn't say anything. He never said anything because you're a young boy. Do you know what I mean? So.
What about Andy McLaren? Could Andy be up and down?
Andy McLaren, from what I remember, was he'd come in like an absolute wrecking ball. He'd peak high, and then it'd just go bang, done. You could speak to you half an hour straight on the bounce without you getting a word in, probably without taking a breath, and then after that, you wouldn't speak to him again for an hour and a half. He was one of them.
What a man! Kelvin Jack was there as well. He went to the World Cup. How was he?
Tell you what, you know what? The best time I ever remember with Kevin Jack was, I remember to this day because I'd never shit myself so much in my life. So I got called to the reserves, and Big Kelvin was, he's 6'7" or something like that. An absolute tank he was. And the goalie coach was off. He goes, right, I need a player to do half volleys with me. All right. Manager was like, "That's right, Kevin. What you're warming up Kelvin?" I'm like, "Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't need this in my life here." And he was like, "Right." So big man came over. You know what I mean? He's saying like, "Okay, I want you to do this and that." Right. I done a half volley. First half volley, shank top bins. Right? I was, no, Kev, come on, done it again. Exact same. I couldn't do the technique. I froze on the spot. I was trying everything. I had the ball down right in the middle of my foot. Everything. You know what I ended up doing? I ended up bouncing it, turning myself side on, and doing half volley side foots into him. Took about 10 now, and he was like, "Excuse me," shouted over in front of me, Gaffer, get this little kid out of here. He's done. Walked over. Honestly, I was gone. I was.
Wait, Kev, were you playing with the first team, and he's told you to go on the goalie?
No, it was a 23. He was coming back from injuries. He was injured all the time, the big guy.
Right.
Or 21s at the time, and that's what it was. Honestly, I forgot how to kick a ball. Like, I'm gone.
Who was that? Alan Kernigan?
Yeah, Alan Kernigan was the manager there. Yeah, and he was harsh, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? He was like
harsh on you as a player, like.
Harsh on me as a player, harsh on young boys on the whole, and just kind of, he was quite harsh, even to senior players. So obviously, when I've been told to go back over, he's like, I remember him shouting to someone, I don't know who it was, another player or someone, in a proper Cockney accent. I can't do a Cockney accent. Get him out of here! Get him going! Sat on the bench for the whole game. Didn't see a ball once. Didn't get told to warm up. We just sat there. But with Kernigan, he was tough. He was, and I think that was his first job. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But he was, you know what I mean. He was all right. Like,
did him and the older boys have a go at each other?
Not really. There's a couple. I can't think who it was. I can't remember who it was at the time, to be honest with you. But he was different, man. And he had a young boy, an older guy, sorry, beside him. I think it was Billy Kirkwood. It was Billy Kirkwood to try and settle him down in that, and even he couldn't settle him down. Do you know what I mean? He was a bit of a cannon. He was.
I think he went to Brentford, that Alan Kernan, didn't he? I'm sure I've played against one of his team, and he was going off. He's not on the side of the pitch, man.
Got this proper high, squeaky voice, and it goes right through you. Do you know what I mean? But I couldn't answer back. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't say anything back to him. I was 17, 18, like.
See, when you were playing the first team at 17, 18, was it easy for you?
Personally, I thought at that time when I built a bit of confidence after Kelvin had knocked me down 10 places, I picked it up again, and it was like, yeah, like after a couple of goals, now you know you do gain a bit of confidence, and there's a bit of media hype, and I did start to feel obviously easier as time went on. The more I played, the more I got into it, I felt more comfortable. But I would never at the time say it was easy. You know, when you're going to places airdrie away and that, and they're absolutely battering you. So I wouldn't say it's easy, you know.
Yeah. See, how was that when you obviously you're playing with the Dundee's first team, and there's headlines about you when you're back in Carnoustie, you're a big star. Like you said that people used to get you mixed up for Colin Montgomery as well, too, didn't they?
Colin Montgomery was a bit quicker than me, to be fair.
No, but see in Dundee and that, were you like going out on a Saturday night? Was everyone buzzing off you?
I think like not in a way like that there was. You know what it's like, but it was a 50-50. They either love you or they hate you, because the other half are Dundee United fans who are like, you know, you get the odd guy in your fatty's nightclub walk past you and nudge you. It's like, come on, man, I want to play football. I'm out here for a drink. Come on, relax.
Would you get that kid, huh?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Like when I was coming through, when I was about 18, when I was legally allowed to go out anyway. Yeah, you used to get that, and you get the other set of fans who obviously adored you at the time. So it was a big hit and miss. But obviously back home in Carnoustie is different. You know, everyone knows you, and I think I'd go back there and have a great time regardless if I play football or not. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right, mate. Alex Rae comes in. What's your initial thoughts? Because obviously you were still playing at the time. So did you think the gaffer's going to come and take my position here?
Yeah, I knew straight away I was done. I was thinking that, okay, but he's a manager at the end of the day, so it's like, okay, I was still young. I was ready to accept it, and he came in and he was at it. He was, you know from the way he is, he was at it. He was. So he came in and put himself straight in. I think played the reserve game and get fitness up, and to be fair to him, he was absolutely brilliant. He was.
Mate, he's a player, isn't he?
He was a player. He was. He had the big Puma Kings on about size 3 or something. He battered us about, and I was like, you know, at that time, he was the biggest signing of Dundee while I was there. Apart from like obviously like all the Italians and that at first, but he was like a high-profile signing and manager at the time. So when he came in, it was a bit of a wake-up call for everyone, because he kind of raised the standard as such. But as a guy to come in, he came in and was quite hard on people and that, and it's what the club needed at the right time, to be honest with you.
Was he hard on you?
He was hard on me, yeah, because he could see that I had potential to kind of go onto another level if I wanted to, and he was the same with your Robbos, your Dickas, Swankies a lot. He was the same with all them, but like he helped me, to be fair, because he was a centre midfielder. He helped me massively.
He was obviously known for being a bit of a hard man. When he joined in training, with he smash boys?
Smashing people daily basis. And if you were normally, people like the managers want you to take care in training a bit. You know, like nowadays you've got shin pads in training for certain teams and that. Like he's going hard. Like if you're pulling out a tackle, he's like hammering you. So it got feisty at times, but like he loved that. He loved the fact that everyone was playing hard for their places, and he brought that kind of mentality to the club. Yeah. So
did you and Robbo, did one of you need to miss out for Alex Rae to play?
We in a way we did, yeah, because at the time I'm sure we played. I think everyone in the whole of Europe at the time played 4-4-2. I think like there was times Robbo would go put out like wide left or wide right because Rob was
man.
fit at anything. He got that shift. Like he was just up and down the wing, but he didn't say anything. He was just bombing up and down, like mum in the stands watching, like loving life. You know what I mean? It was and me and obviously the manager were in the middle. But there was times he dropped us and put Robbo in, and a couple of times every now and then he'd take himself out, but he didn't like taking himself out. He hated that.
Wow. Yeah. See, when I played against him in a reserve game, mate, he was shouting at the players to give him the ball all the time. Were you basically there just to get the gap for the ball?
Pretty much, yeah. Like like he was known for doing the dirty work. Like, and he came to us, and he was the flair player in the end. Do you know what I mean? We were all doing the dirty work for him, but nah, he was a character, and he done well for me. So I can't, you know what I mean? I can't say he was bad at that.
See, when obviously he was playing, he was one of the boys. Like, would he come out with the boys as well, or was there a line drawn under that?
Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't that guy. Nah, he wasn't. I don't think I ever once went out with him at all, to be honest with you.
Mate, how much does he spit, man?
Yeah, and it's like the little tiny little spitballs every time as well. It's not like a normal like one every 10 minutes for you, but proper hawk up. It was just like a constant spit. It was.
He just does it. He does it. It's pure. Who was that? Who were the top men in the dressing room then, Kev? Did you go in Dundee quite a bit? Was it Fat Sam's at the time?
Yeah, it was Fatties was the one at the time. 3 floors of just mayhem it was.
You and Gary Kenneth fighting over birds, innit?
Fuck me, yeah. The birds would have a field day there. Who was there? Well, the Glasgow boys kind of kept themselves through there because if you're from Glasgow, why would you come through to Dundee for a night out? So they all used to go out over that side, and then over our side was me and Swanky went out quite a bit. To be fair,
Swanky's a handsome man, isn't he?
Good guy, like he loved to drink as well. But Robbo and Dicka, who obviously kind of came through with that hype, they didn't really go out much. The other ones were like, remember obviously Deasley and Scott Gates and that.
Yeah,
when I came through the young boys, I was kind of with them, so we were like, the little 18-year-olds going out, like going down to like little places, Fat Sam's, whatever like that, just try to go out and enjoy ourselves. It was good, man.
Right, mate. And then, as you say, loads of attention. Celtic come in for you. Spoken to you before. Didn't fancy the move?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't really. I'd seen so many people in stories of people going in there and being a number, and hearing that they've got a 40-man squad and so on, and they've got some. And at the time, they had some incredible players like coming through under 18s, coming through under 21s, and obviously established first teamers, and obviously people on the bench. So they had so much like strength and depth throughout the whole club. I was like, I thought to myself, like, do I want to go there? And of course, the first initial shout was, yeah, let's go here. You don't want to go down to England. Doesn't cross your mind. But I thought, and I had a chat with my agent and my family, and I was like, listen, I don't think I fancy going there at all. And
even when you had a bit the money in that, Kev, that you could possibly get
that was, of course, let's be honest, you know what I mean? We're being realistic here. Everyone thinks automatically like that. You're like, yeah, okay, you can triple my wages or whatever. It's no problem, like, fantastic. But I knew there was a couple of clubs interested down south still. That was the thing that kind of was the swaying point, and I thought, I'm going to give it a blast to go there. And they kind of said to me, listen, I don't really want that Celtic move. Hold out. And you know what he's like. He's saying, no, I'll go. You got to go. You got to do this and you got to do that. But in the end, we held out in the end. So
why Burnley then? What other English clubs are in?
You wouldn't believe it, to be fair. You had the choice of Burnley and Everton, and I went to Burnley. I don't know how that one works out, to be honest with you.
Mate, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, well, as you said before, I was thick as shit, but,
So why Burnley then? What was it that sold it?
It was Owen Coyle in the end, yeah. He could, honestly, he could, like...
Most enthusiastic man in the world, didn't he?
Was, honestly, he could sell music to a deaf man. It was incredible. It was. I had a chat with him at a service station, Kinross Services. He brought me whatever it was. Brought me McDonald's, and I thought to myself, what a guy this guy is.
Wait, sorry. The manager brought you a McDonald's?
Yeah, he brought us. It was the Burger King. Where do you get these service stations? He was come in and he said, "Come on in, big man." Like in front of everyone. This woman meant to do this discreet, and he's like bouncing around. He's had his iron bruise for the day. He was at it. And then me and my agent, my dad went in, and first thing my dad said, remember my dad said to him, he said, like, fuck me, he's hyper, isn't he? Like, and I was just like, kind of like, you're kind of nervous about it. Instantly, like, relaxed, like, thought, this guy's brilliant, this guy is. So that was that. Had an hour and a half in a Perth and Kinross service stations, and that was that. He sold a dream to me. Like, he was like, yeah, listen, we're building a new stadium, we're training a new training ground, this and that. Like, obviously, money's this and that. And in the end, it was like, yeah, let's go for it then.
I know your mum was still bathing you up until you were 14, so were you know a bit worried about moving away down south on your own?
Yeah, I was. It was shit myself. That was part of it. When it came to actually moving, I was like, I'm not sure we can do this, but I put, I put football, I put like family and friends and that aside for the time, and thought like this could change your life at the end of the day.
Did you drive down on your own yet?
No, I took one of my mates came down on the first trip, about 7.5 hours ripping down side roads a lot. We got lost about 4 times. So it was meant to take 7 hours. It took about 10 hours to get there. Considered us turning back, to be fair, but no, that was he came down because it would have been hard going down my own for the first time I moved away.
And then you did your medical during the day, mate. Talk us about that night.
The medical went all right actually. It wasn't too bad and stuff. I seen a couple of players and that, and then at night I was like, okay, I signed the contract and that, everything was all done. I was buzzing. I was like, so I went into the hotel. Big Sandy Stewart was there. He's like, oh, well, dinner's another new signing, Remco van der Schaaf, big Dutch guy, fantastic guy. Both signed at the same time. And I was like, let's go down for dinner, me, Sandy and Remco. Remco's like...
Sandy's assistant manager, isn't he?
Sandy's assistant manager, sorry, yeah, Sandy, yeah, assistant manager. So he was like, let's go down for dinner and stuff. So I was like, right, okay, I'd never met him before in my life. Never met him. I was like, all right. So I went downstairs and was like, I'm sat there like looking like trying to order salads and stuff like that. And he's this big Sandy, proper Scottish guy, Glaswegian guy. He says, big man, can you sell a burger and chips and a beer down you? Got training tomorrow. Well, don't worry about that. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into here? And I didn't want to order it. And then Remco's this, okay, so Remco, the big foreign boy, ordered a gin and tonic. I was like, what? Like, but no, I'm still 18. I understand life a bit more by this point. And I was like, gin and tonic? Sandy's like, we'll take 2 beers. Actually, no. Give us 4 beers for me and him. I'm thinking that because I know by this point what I can get myself like on a night out. So I'm thinking, oh shit, I need to be careful here. Sat there and just signed for Burnley, good contract, everything. I sat there, burger and chips, pint of beer on the first night with an assistant manager. In the end, you know what? We were there for about 4 hours, got absolutely battered. Went into training the next day like a bag of shite. First day in training, the boys were looking at me like, no, who the fuck's this guy? I could borderline hear them in my own head thinking this, saying to each other, this guy's crap. Like, and I was half steaming. Sandy just walked past me. It was a little wink. He was like, don't worry about it, big man. Better days are to come.
That's tremendous, isn't it?
It was brilliant. That was, man. Honestly, brilliant.
See, when you first signed there, Kev, when Uncle Coyle spoke to you, did he say that they were looking to get promoted that year, or what was the aim for that season?
No, he sold us up a dream in signing, but he said like realistically, you know, we're not a big club in this division, but what because I think he might have been there before for a little bit. I think he went maybe mid-season or something, and he goes, what I've done is I've installed like a team spirit that you won't get any other clubs in that, which I can imagine. I could picture that. Yeah. And then and that's exactly what it was. That was what it was. He said, listen, we're going to be a mid-table team, but we'll give it a good go. We'll bring in a couple of players in, and that's exactly what we've done.
What was the fight like to stand next to Brian Easton in the team photo?
Fuck me. Yeah, I've actually got a photo of something. Yeah, it's on that wall there. He was massive. He was. Must have been about 110 kilograms, 6'5", and I was about 85 kilograms, like skinny as anything. But I was so out of place. Like, what was
Brian Easton like in there? Is he a good lad?
Good guy, he was. Yeah, I think he was Danish. From Denmark, I think he was. He was a nice guy, to be honest with you.
Oh, Brian Easton for Hamilton.
I said Brian Jensen.
No, Brian Easton.
I was thinking, why are you asking Brian Jensen? No, Easty, man. Oh, Easty.
He's a few Brian Easton stories. Fletch told us that you 3 got robbed as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we got. Well, I don't know why he's trying to turn it. Fletch got robbed. He was the one with the money, not us. Easty, first of all, Fletch got robbed on a night out. I'm sure he said it when he was on here.
He told the story.
Like, yeah, he got robbed, and I've never seen a bigger change of pace from Easty before in my life to catch the guy. It was fantastic. It was.
Did Easty get the boy back? Did he go and get Fletcher's money back?
Yeah, Easty got the boy back. Yeah. That's what he didn't mention. Yeah, he had like a lot. The guy had like a lot of like the satchels that they wear. He must have been in fashion back then. The guy, and he seen obviously Fletcher at the bank. Like I think he banged him and then took the money, just left his bank cards, took the cash and ran down the street. I've just seen Easty just go. And like I've trained with Easty for about 4 months at this point. I've never seen him get like over a half pace yet. He's turned it like a young Usain Bolt. and he was down chasing after him, and he managed to, I think he grabbed him, he tripped him up, that's what it was first, tripped him up, and gave him a little dig, he did. Someone gave him a little dig, got the thing, I think he took the boy's bag as well, that's what he done, he took the boy's bag as well, and I had a little half bottle of vodka in it. He used to come walking back at the road with a half bottle of vodka.
Yeah, that's what I hear him, man. Is he top man, Brian? He's standing
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Like when we were there, me, Fletch, Eastie, Alex McDonald, David Edgar, there was a good group of us, and Eastie joined a year after me. So obviously I was one of the Scottish ones, and obviously Gary Caldwell was first one there, Stevie Caldwell, sorry, and obviously Big Tomo joined, and Eastie joined, and Eastie was similar ages to me, and we played together with Scotland under 21s, or under 18s at the time, sorry, and we knew each other from that, and to be fair, we hit it off straight away. Like he's similar to me, quite laid back, loved the night out, just loved enjoying life, and to be honest with you, straight away, I thought we're looking at each other, thinking this could be a good time here.
Yeah,
and it was exactly that.
You said about the team spirit and that, everyone that plays with Burnley, mate, and you mentioned Stephen Thompson's story, Gay's one.
It was, you know what, I just always go back to that night in Portugal, to be honest with you. I can't get away from it. It was one of the best nights I've ever had in my entire career. Like, just, it was some like hangover stuff. Because to be fair, the Burnley was one of the best stag do's I'd ever been on. My whole 3 years there, it turned into a stag do. And like, Stephen Thompson like came in, who was such a nice guy. Like, I still to this day, I said to my wife, like, I don't understand how the flick of the switch and he's gone, he is. Like, there was one other time, obviously, Tomo told that story about being in Portugal, so I'll say a different one. We had a night out. No, it wasn't a night out. No, we had the night out, actually. We were on the way back. David Edgar's house, lived in a lovely house on the top of the hill, overlooking, like, this area. And a big jacuzzi outside. And Big Tomo's there. Like, by this point, Tomo's went from Tomo to, like, Tomahawk. He's changed. So, a couple of my friends from back Scotland are like, they're with him. So we had the night out, and the boys are like, fuck me, Kev, he's mental, isn't he? Like not want to say it loud in case Tomo hears. But yeah, so that's we'll go through. We're playing table tennis. Big Ed's got a table tennis in his house. Tomo comes through with like steak knives, right? Launched them around the room like they're stuck in the roof in that. And my boys are like, nah, what's happening here? Is this guy right here? Tomo's an absolute cannon. By this point, I've only been out a couple of times, but I've not seen this side of Tomo. So that was that. So we go into the hot tub. We're all in the hot tub. A few of us in the hot tub, and we were in the hot tub. Big Tomo comes through, and we're like, Eastie's got fireworks in his hand or something like that. He's popping fireworks off, like, I don't know, it was like fire starter. Tomo comes through the back with a big toaster, all right? And like he's above the jacuzzi. We're like this, nah. Like, you automatically, your heart's in your mouth, because I'm thinking this guy could do this. We're all like, nah, Tomo, come on, stop, come on, Tomo. He's above the jacuzzi like this. He's waiting, yeah, boys, what are you saying now, you fucking idiots? We're like, what? We're all like trying to jump out and stuff, and he was like, don't move, I'll put it in there and that. And in the end, obviously, of course, he didn't put it in, but that was the time I realised this guy's mental in the head here.
Oh, that's amazing, man. Mate, you would never think that scene on a sports scene in that, eh? Never.
When someone told me he was doing like sports scene and commentating and whatever else, I thought, no way, man. No way, it's impossible. But he's got that side to him, like, for sure.
Amazing, man. Who else was good players? Obviously, he had a great career. Clark Carlisle, Graham Alexander. Mate, I loved Robbie Blake, man. I thought Robbie Blake technically was tremendous, wasn't he?
Robbie Blake was another one who's on like coming to the back end of his career. The technique was just, it was embarrassing at times. Some of the stuff he done with the ball, it was like, come on. And he was known for being like quite small, little podgy guy, but like the way he moved and how good he was with the ball was absolutely brilliant. It was that his goal against, I think it was Man United, first game of the season. Incredible. That's like was my highlight of him thinking that. So that put in one picture, one video is exactly him like that.
Yeah. On the training ground, what was it like? Was it just like people say what Coyle is 5-a-sides and shooting for capes? Did they boys love that?
Loved it, because they'd never seen nothing like that. You know what I mean? They'd never been in a position where, like, you know, you come down in England, like, it's a lot of tactics and it's a lot of like 11v11s and so on and so on. But Coyley's came in and just switched it around and goes, you know, we're doing it my way here, and that's what his way was getting players to enjoy themselves and being free and relaxed. So when you go into a game, you're relaxed, you make a mistake, that's life. And they loved it, you know. I can't remember really many times doing shaping. Done a little bit of set pieces now and then, but apart from that, it was some passing drill possession games every single day. Thursday, Friday, playing volleys for cakes, everything. It was in drinks, whatever. It was class.
Why were you so good? Was it just down to the team spirit in the dressing room? Was that the best dressing room you've played in, Kev?
No, I wouldn't say, like, as my careers went on, I'd probably say it was an all right dressing room. I've went on to great dressing rooms, I think. But in terms of a manager getting the best out of a dressing room, for sure. Like, he was, because I'd class it now as when I look back, we had an all right bunch of players in a good standard league, and we didn't deserve to be anywhere near the top of that league. And what Coyley did, the confidence for the boys and for the team, and obviously himself as well, was just brilliant for the city on the whole. To be honest with you, it was just brilliant. It was.
Could he be fun? Is he quite funny, on Coyle? Like slaughtering boys and that big time shouts. He's got a few big time shouts, isn't he?
He was brilliant. He was. You know what? He was absolute class as well at playing football. He was like he'd play in training and stuff. You know what he'd do? It'd be say 3 teams of 7 or something like that, and it could, just so he got himself in the games, he'd go and play as a floater, or he'd put someone else on the side so he could get in that. And like when he got in, like he was good, he was sharp. I think he was 41 years old at the time. He was dinking keepers. He used to like hit shots and shout "Coyle!" and it went in. And so, big Brian Easton used to absolutely like piss himself laughing at it. Like, he used to just like say things.
That's fun, mate. The manager shouting Coyle.
I swear, he used to do this one where like, he used to shout say someone in the distance. He'd like say, like, he'd walk on the training pitch. You know, a typical young boy just battering balls like that. He'd come on the training pitch first thing. He'd zing a ball. He'd say, "Clarky, stay there." He'd zing a ball to him, go straight to his feet, and he'd just go like that. He would just go, "Kev." Honestly, I swear. Me and the boys were like just laughing every day, man. Every time. And obviously, you know, it's like he goes to the change room, the boys are like shouting to each other, "Oh, Kev."
That's outstanding.
Amazing, man. Honestly, it was daily. Every day it was. Sandy used to just piss himself laughing. You couldn't get a hold of him. He was brilliant. He was, man.
Oh, mate, would the boys run through a brick wall for him?
Everything, whatever they took to do, they would do it for him, and that's what he installed in the whole place. Like he was a good guy, and not just the players. Like, I mean, to everyone, cleaners the lot. Like he was top drawer. He was.
Amazing, man. All right, mate, you came on as an early sub in the first leg of the playoffs, and you didn't get on the second leg and the final. Was that tough to take?
You know what? In that season, I was kind of. That was my first season, kind of establishing myself. I was kind of in and out, to be honest with you. And
why do you think that was?
I think probably first and foremost a bit of inexperience for myself, and the league being much harder than to go from playing for Dundee and obviously the championship version of Scotland to playing the championship version of England was you know what I mean? It was night and day. It was.
Yeah.
Standard was tough going. So those games I did struggle in. A lot of games I did struggle in. A lot of games I did well in. So I think Coyley done well in try to protect me as such in certain ways. He had this kind of way of making everyone feel fantastic, and that's the way he was. And you know what? At the time, when I look back now, I wasn't too like drawn on not playing, because at the time I had full confidence in the manager getting us promoted, and you know what I mean. And he did. So I was put my personal issues aside, and that was that.
You thought he'd stick the Scottish boy on the final, though, eh?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, to be fair, to be honest, you have to. Yeah, but it didn't happen, did it?
What was that like, mate? Getting promoted to the Prem your first season there. Remember? Do you actually remember the film when the final whistle goes?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I had my family in one side and the friends in the main part of the stadium. So I remember when the whistle went, it was just like, because we scored early on, about 20th minute, I thought big Wade Elliott scored a banger. And then, I think we were good in the game. I remember, I'm sure we had the run of the game. We were confident. I think they got a boy sent off for someone as well, which made it even more. But when the final whistle went, it was just, you know, you can imagine it. At Wembley, obviously, even being sat on the bench, at the point I didn't know to be even on the pitch at Wembley warming up and have the chance of coming on was from playing at Brecon a year and a half ago to that. I couldn't have complained.
That's amazing.
So,
imagine he never put you on the final whistle and he just looked at you and done that.
Imagine if we would have done that to someone, I'm sure of it.
What's the dressing room like after you've been promoted to the Premier League?
Brilliant. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Straight off. Especially in at that point where we'd had a good kind of team spirit in that. It was, it's like you see on the pitch and stuff. When you see on the pitch is calm from when you go in the dressing room on the inside. Everyone's got their champagne that outside for photos and celebrating with the fans. When you go on the inside, there's beers cracked, there's all sorts. There's pizzas all over the place, and it's just you don't leave the stadium for another 2 hours at least. You're just like having a good few bevies in the changing room as class it is.
And did you know there and then that your money was getting doubled?
Yeah, fucking right it.
Mate, how good's that, man? That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was nice for everyone. Like, and obviously that's what you look at. Like, you look back at them things and think, well, 18 months ago or whatever, or a year ago, you're on got $1,000 a week at Dundee. Do you know what I mean? And suddenly you're earning good double figures. This stuff. It's like, come on, man. This is the life, like.
Yeah. And then did you get the open top bus in Burnley?
Yeah, the open top bus was good fun. I don't remember too much of actually what happened that night, to be fair, but it was a good day. It was because we all met in the pub. We all met in the pub, one of the local pubs during the day. There was about 10 of us there. There was about 12 of us there in the pub, 15 of us or so. Had a good few scoops, and I was like, right, boys, we'll meet at 6 o'clock. I think we met about 1 o'clock. We were battered by the time we got at 6 o'clock, and then went on the bus and that. And like the whole of Burnley loves football. Do you know what I mean? It's a one club city town, and that's what it was. They absolutely loved it, and for us, it was a great day. Like,
and that was a common theme. Was it a Sunday club you said?
What a great Sunday! What a great Sunday! It was borderline towards my last year, when obviously I went like kind of last 2 years. That's what I'm saying. It did turn into a stag do, to be honest with you. We'd be there at that pub on the Sundays. There's a place called the Footballers in it. Was a little shithole it was, but it was ideal for us. Me, Eastie, Ed, Fletch, Tom every now and then, Alex McDonald. We used to just go down there, Dave Edgar, and we'd go in about 1 o'clock. We'd probably not leave the place till about 3 o'clock the following morning. And like,
did you get the Monday, or was it Monday off?
There was times where it was Monday, and yeah, you could tell we were in deep trouble when it came to Monday morning. But there was times we had Mondays off. Barry Coyley would give us Mondays off, and whatever else, or whoever else was the manager would give us the Mondays, and we used to just go. And we used to just, you know what? It started off normal at times, and after a while, it was just absolute chaos in the pub. People were loving us, so I think we actually turned it into karaoke Sunday nights. The pub was then the karaoke nights, and we were like pretty much starting it up for everyone. It was amazing. It was.
So would the fans be there as well, and you should have a beer with the fans in there?
Nah, it was kind of like out there. It was out in between Burnley and Manchester. Yeah, it wasn't like loads of Burnley fans. It was just like a little village place, and they just loved us going in. And a few young boys, like, they were having a laugh with us, and it was great. It was. Right,
mate. You mentioned him. Fletch signs that season. I think he's criminally underrated. I always say it on here. Like, how good is he? Top player, isn't he?
Fantastic. Like, absolutely amazing, to be honest with you. Like, I don't used to say it to him because he used to be buzzing off it, but he was top. Everything he'd done, like, what I liked about Fletch was he had an arrogance about him. He knew he was good, and technically he was good. Physically he was good, and he was just he brought Burnley again to another level again. He came in and bagged goals. A lot of pressure on him. I think he moved for about 15 million, the club record fee, and he just took it in his stride. And he was amazing. He was like, yeah.
It's mad to see when you give people praise. Like, it's usually their head that gets bigger, but it's Fletch's ears that keep getting bigger. Did you hear the story about him with his medical non-coil? They played tennis.
Tennis, madness, eh?
Amazing, mate. Like that season, you scored a late equaliser v Man City at the Etihad. Surreal day, mate.
Incredible, absolutely incredible it was. I didn't know what I was doing that far forward, to be honest with you, and like. When I look back, it was actually a nice finish under pressure. Yeah, it was. I think it was 3 each, the final score. And a couple of the boys were on the bench. Normally, Fletch was playing and stuff. I think, no, Fletch was on, actually. The other boys, Eastie and Ed, were on the bench. And I just remember looking over them and giving it like a little fist to say, like, we made it here, boys. It was incredible, it was, man.
Love that. When was the first time in that Premier League that you thought, like, wow, this standard is ridiculous? Do you remember a certain game or a player that you played against, you just thought, this is a different level?
I think he was at Arsenal at the time, I think. Don't know. We played against someone, I think it was Fabregas or someone like that. And we came up against him, and I honestly couldn't get within 5 yards of him. I was social distancing from him. Honestly, I was miles away. And the whole game. And I got taken off about an hour, and I walked straight on the bench, and I said, fuck me, I hope I don't play the next game against these boys. I could not get close for the life of me. Like, whatever I tried, I was trying to, like, press him and stuff and do all sorts of it. and try to like do whatever I could possibly do. And they were so clever, like one-touch balls in the corner and stuff, and like they were just nowhere near it. That's when I thought like, that's when I realised like it was so much more athletic than what I actually was. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean? As in, you need to be a lot fitter.
A lot fitter and a lot more like agile and stuff. And I've never been the most agile players in football. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when I realised it. And then the Premier League then was, compared to what it's like now, it's nothing like what it is now. But like back then, like from coming from Dundee to Burnley Championship it was a huge step up. To be honest with you, it was tough going. It was.
Yeah. Did you get many tops?
I got a few. Yeah, I got a few. I think.
Did you get?
Well, I got Fabregas's in the end. I made sure I said it at the end of the game. I actually said to him, after the game, I said, "You mind if I get your top?" And he said, "Yeah, no problem." I said, "This is the closest I've ever actually got to you, to be honest with you." And he just started laughing. He probably didn't understand a word I said, but he laughed anyway.
Did anyone mug you off, Kev? I always wonder that as well. Did any of the big boys ever mug you off?
Not really. Like I think they do to certain people. And that if you're a bit of a clown on the pitch to them, and that you do, but sometimes you just got to know your place at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go batter into Fabregas and all these players and say, yeah, you're crap or that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not gonna do it, like, because he's probably just gonna laugh at me and say, like, sorry, who are you? I mean, like.
Right, mate. Owen Coyle's departure. How much of a shock was it? Did you like days before it? Did you get a wee inkling or anything, or was it a total shock?
He told us he was going to go. To be fair, he said to us.
So you pulled you on the dressing room?
Yeah, he said to us like, "Listen, boys, it's been a great time, and I loved every minute of it, and so on, and like I'm going to go across there." And we were like, "Listen, we actually said it was Stevie Caldwell said, I think it was Stevie Caldwell or Graham Alexander said, listen, boss, you brought us to where we are now. Do you know what I mean? Without you, it wouldn't have happened. Like, so, fair play. We hope I wish you all the success, and and that was that. To be fair, Big Coyle was away. That was him.
Did he speak to you individually, or was it just as a group?
I remember speaking to him and saying, because he phoned me when he left, and he said, like, don't worry about it, you'll be all good and that. And he was like, we'll look to try and take you over to Bolton. He was looking to try and sign me to Bolton and stuff. And I was like, right, okay, we'll just like keep in touch and we'll see what happens. And then I think he probably changed his number after that. But no, I think he gave me a phone further down the line and that. And in the end, like they went elsewhere, and that was fair enough. He gave me the chance in English football, and I could never say a bad word about him.
I think he signed Greg Wild instead of you, didn't he?
Sorry?
I think Greg Wild instead of you.
Fuck me. I think he actually did. No, is that Greg Wild? Fucking hell.
Right, yeah. Do you think he's would have stayed up if Owen Coyle had stayed as manager?
Well, it would have been closer. We would have stayed up, I'm not sure, but we would have been closer. We were going away to teams and getting battered 5-0 every week. It was hard going, but I think he would have given us a better chance for sure.
See, when you're going away and getting battered 5-0, is there like ructions in the dressing room after games?
Not really. If it's like silly ones and you're not tracking your runners and you're just silly goals, then there might be a bit of something. But there wasn't really anything because it was a close knit squad. It wasn't really too much like that. We knew we were up there. We would deserve to be up there. Don't get me wrong, but we knew we were on an uphill battle to stay in the league. That was it. Like, and unfortunately, we were miles off it in the end. Do you know what I mean? You
said you watched it. Stephen Thompson's interview told us that Brian Laws probably lacked the authority for that squad. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. He struggled, to be fair. Brian Laws did. And I think if I remember correctly, he was with Sheffield Wednesday 19th in the league in the Championship and got Burnley job 12th in the Premiership. So everyone was kind of looking, first of all, like, what's happening? What's going on here? Do you know what I mean?
Was that what you were, 12th when you came in?
I think we were around about 12, 14, something like that anyway, but like higher than 19th in the Championship anyway. And I don't know from his previous records or whatever, I'm not really too sure, but he came in and he did struggle a bit, to be fair. He tried to change it up a bit, and we were so used to that way of Owen Coyle. It was two like different, two completely different managers, and it just didn't work at all, to be honest with you.
Right, mate, tell us your story. You going to the boozer at half time after being subbed at Man City. See, at half time, did you and him have a wee bit of abandon?
Not really. Like, what happened was what happened was obviously we were getting absolutely clattered. I think it was 5-0. Like, Man City at home, they were just started spending big money then. They were battered, we were. And then, like, came in at half time, and for some reason, I don't know how, I thought I was doing all right. One of them things you start to think to yourself, was I doing all right there? Clearly not. Is that right? Made the changes. Me and Robbie Blake came off. I was fuck. I don't know why my head was so gone. I no clue why. When I think back now, I think like, why was your head so gone? I was like, fuck this. So I had mates that come down every year. Like my dad and all his mates come down to eat one game each year. Normally at the end of the season, last game of the season. They've been doing it for years. They come down with their kilts on. They've got like they make Burnley t-shirts and stuff on, like the claret and Scottish claret and blues and all this, whatever. So I was like, these are all at the pub. Like I texted my dad saying, listen, I've been dragged. Where are you? So we're just down at the pub, the 141 club, literally about 30 yards down, 300 yards down from the stadium. It's like, no problem, I'll be there. So they've obviously went to the booth when I went off. So got ready and that. I was thinking to myself, dude, just go or what? I don't know what I had. You know what? It was when I look back now. Of course, it's a mistake. Of course.
Yeah.
But left the changing room. Was like, fuck this, I'm off. Someone else got dragged at half time. Blakey got dragged at half time. I think he just left and went home. I just left, strolled down from Burnley, walked down to the pub, met all the boys. I went to the pub and they're like, "Oi!" And I'm like, what's happening here? So I just walked in. And obviously by this point, Burnley fans were there as well. So they're all Burnley fans. They're like, "Way!" I'm walking in and forgetting the game's 5-0. I think it's 6-0 at this point. I'm sat there with a pint of beer, just like sipping away. Honestly, madness it was.
So did none of them come up and pull you up, Kev? None of the fans?
Not really. There's a couple of bad looks here and there, but obviously someone's took a sly picture of it. Do you know what I mean? Someone's took a picture. And my dad was like, "Oh, you best go." To be fair, I was like, "Fuck that, I'll be fine. Like, don't worry about it." And I was like, I went outside. Dad said, "We'll come out of the pub at least." Do you know what I mean? And a couple of lads came out with me. I was stood at the side, and I remember one of them kept taking my drink, so there was no photos and that. Which at the end of the day, the game's still going on, but we're probably 18-0 down at this point, and I'm sat in the pub. Do you know what I mean? And someone's took a picture of me outside the pub in the 75th minute, saying this is what Kevin McDonald done during the second half and that. So it was yeah. And in the Premier League, in the Championship, you might have got away with it a bit. In the Premier League, when all the world and that's kind of on, all the media's on, yeah, it was all in all, it was a bad decision. Yeah.
Kev, was that the hardest? Was that probably the hardest experience of your career?
Yeah, for sure, because I knew I was in the wrong. When I was doing it at the time, I knew I was in the wrong, and I stuck by it because I thought, well, why did I get dragged? You know what I mean? Arrogant or something like that. I was thinking, like, why drag me? My mates are here. I want to have a good weekend because the first time they'd been down probably or something. I don't know, but it was tough going. Like it was a silly decision. I stand by it all along. I stand by my decision and say, yeah, I was in the wrong. But from me learning from that position has been the best outcome for me in the long run.
Oh, we've all done it, mate. I think you make mistakes when you're younger.
So you're not wrong.
Did that kill you the rest of your time at Burnley then, Kev? Was that you done after that?
Done, yeah, done.
And did the manager tell you that? Did he say that's you done?
Nah, but Eddie, the next manager did. I got the usual fined a couple of weeks' wages, so that wasn't ideal. And then I knew I was done. You know what ended up happening was that Brian Laws just said, like, listen, you won't be involved at all. Like that's that. You won't play for me again. So I trained and stuff each day, and then I think I went on loan somewhere. I think I went on loan to Scunthorpe or something like that. I know. You know what I mean? One minute you're playing Man City, next minute you're on loan at Scunthorpe. Well, that might have been the following season, I'm not sure, but I knew my career was done then. That's when it was like, that's when it turned into a real stag do. You know what I mean? That's
what, Scunthorpe?
No, like when I knew I wasn't going to play again for Burnley, like Eastie and that were like, it was Tuesday nights, you know what I mean? There's nothing going on in Burnley. You want to go down to Wetherspoons? I'm down at Wetherspoons at 7 o'clock at night, you know what I mean? It was... It's mad
how quickly football can change so, mate.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And as I said, I went alone. I think I seen it out to the end of that season, I think. And then if I was playing golf and all the time, just having a great time without playing football. I forgot where I was. I forgot I was actually a football. I was getting paid well, and I was enjoying life without actually playing football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Kind of.
See, after that, do you think that pushed you on to kind of change a wee bit?
It gave me a wake-up call. And what gave me a wake-up call was, so Eddie Howe came in. That next season, Eddie Howe came in, manager of Burnley, and I went on loan. Obviously, I wasn't going to play in that, and so on and so on. I went on loan to Scunthorpe, Notts County, just to kind of get some games in that major. So you need to. You're not going to play again for Burnley. You need to build yourself up somehow for then your next move. Don't think of now. You're not going to get this money here elsewhere just now. So you need to build yourself for the next move. Because bear in mind, I'm going to Burnley as a high prospect. In the first 18 months, I was like there, and then suddenly I'm rock bottom. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I need to build myself up a bit. So I went and done that, and then I got through to January and got like a little stress fracture. I came back to Burnley in the last 6 months. It was embarrassing, to be fair. We were out all the time. We were just, you know what I mean, eating out all the time. It was it was a big wake up call. And then
were you worried about your career at that point, Kev?
I wasn't worried because I backed myself in my potential, but I didn't realise I didn't know how football worked as such in terms of would I get a good move. I'm sat like playing golf and not thinking that it's fine. I'll get another championship team, no problem. Don't worry about it. It's easy. It'll be easy. I mean, so that's what I thought in my head, which turned out like massively wrong.
Yeah.
And then what happened was, came to the end of the season, and this was my third year, obviously, and Eddie Howe pulled me in. Right, obviously, you're not going to get a contract and stuff, so you're free to do whatever you want and that. But them previous 2 nights before, we were absolutely battered. Went on because obviously we knew a couple of us were going to be leaving, so we went on a 2-day bender. And I'm talking a good 2-day bender, like, you know what I mean, like about 4 hours sleep. And then I went in to see him at 11 o'clock in the morning, like eyes all over the gaff, was just like sat in the office like that. And he's like, "Yeah, listen, Kev, you're not getting a contract here, mate." Like, and that is when it kind of hit home, because like, obviously you know one of them ones that, like you're hungover and stuff. You've got the fear. I mean, and then that was when I needed to speak to my agent. I said, "I'll give you a phone tomorrow," and he goes, "Yeah, we'll look for someone from there." So that was a big point in my career, yeah.
And then, mate, as you say, going to play against Man City, having to go on trial at Sheffield United. What you thinking when you're driving up to that trial? Trial's the worst, mate, isn't it?
You know, the worst thing about it is that people don't know about. I had a trial at Doncaster and they said no. That was the worst thing. So it was a real low. That's when I really thought to myself, like, actually, I'm shit here. I've gone. Like, that's what I thought. My mum and dad are panicking there, like, Kev, like, you know, like, what are you going to do? They ring on the phone every day and it doesn't help me. And I'm like, we'll get something. I've got, because I'm quite relaxed. I'm like, we'll get something. Don't worry about it. Went on trial at Doncaster. I got treated like an absolute, you know what I mean? Got treated like a dickhead. I was just making up the numbers there. And then in the end, like my agent said, like, listen, we need an answer here. So they were like, "Nah, we're not going to give him a contract." Then it was like, wow, like. Wow. Then I was struggling. I didn't really know what to do, to be honest with you. And then my agent got the trial at Sheffield United, which was interesting.
What a club, mate. What a club, eh?
What a club, like, fantastic.
You fill up my senses. It's the best, mate. I used to hate playing yours because we always got dicked, but I used to love it just for the song. Man, I wasn't even interested in the football. I just wanted to hear the song. Amazing, that.
Amazing, man. Absolutely fantastic it was.
So who was it, Kev? Was it Danny Wilson?
Danny Wilson was the one who...
What a manager, mate. What a manager. What a guy.
So I got this trial at Sheffield United. So I don't know how I had a second one. I know what it was. Turned up to the hotel. I mentioned to you, like, turned up at the hotel, and I looked at the squad list online. I was like flicking through my phone. I was like, right, okay, I need to have a check and see who's at this club and that, because it was a big club at the point, you know. But it just into League One, like a big club. Looked at some big players, and I seen on the squad list Ryan Flynn, and I was like, "We Flynn, yeah? No, it can't be Flynn, is it?" Scroll back on Wikipedia as a lot, making sure to double check that it was him. Phoned down to the hotel reception. Just seen he signed about a few days ago, or a couple of weeks back. Phoned in the reception. Like, listen, I think my friend's in this hotel, Ryan Flynn. And they're like, yeah, the Sheffield United player, he's here. I said, put me through to him. He goes, all right, okay. They're like, you sure you know him? I said, yeah, of course I know him. Like, put him through. Flinny picks up the phone. I was speaking to him last night about it. Flinny picks up the phone. I'm like, not spoke to him. We played it under 21s together. Not spoke to him in a couple of years. I was like, Flinny, it's Kev. And he's on the phone, like, baffled, like, you got the wrong number. It's Kev. And he's like, what are you talking about? Who is it? It's Kevin McDonald. And then it clicked in. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, come, wait with me, and I'll come up. Went up to his room. I said, let's go get some lunch and stuff. Me and Flinny got on well. Me and Flinny went out to get some lunch. Like, honestly, this is the first day I've not trained yet. I just arrived in Sheffield. This place called Nonna's on Eccleshall Road in Sheffield. Little Italian place, like bar. Shall we have a drink?
Yes.
I don't know it's a good idea, to be honest with you, Flinny. And then Flinny's adamant it was me that said it. He was like, so one of us was like, oh, should we have a drink? I was like, yeah, be as well then, honestly. I've not seen him in years. The buzz was there. I was like, I thought I signed a contract. I completely forgot I was on trial. Next minute, about 4 hours later, we're gone again, like tanking down beers. I had like big carbonara, pizza at the side, whatever you want, just tanking them. Thinking, we've got to go home at some point. And I was like, Flynn, I remember saying to Flynn, let's go to Sheffield, see what it's all about then, shall we? We're already on our way. Flynn said, yeah, let's go then. Didn't get in till about 3 in the morning. I had trial the next day, first day of trial the next day. woke up in the morning, quickly messaged Flynn and said, "Mate, I feel like an absolute bag of shit here. I don't know what we're thinking." And he was pissing himself laughing. He's already signed a contract on $6,000 a week or something. Do you know what I mean? Here's me fighting for a living. I'm turning up hungover. Turning up on the first day of training. Went and see your boy Danny Wilson, a great guy. Straight away, he probably was thinking, "This guy smells like a brewery. He's gone."
He wouldn't have minded that, mate. Danny wouldn't have minded that.
Well, exactly. So, but what he did, what the problem was with Danny Wilson at the very start was go out to train. I'm playing and I'm very average, to be honest with you. At the time, I'm very, very average. You know what Danny's calling me? Danny Wilson, the manager at the time, puts me in centre midfield. He's calling me Dave. He's like, "Dave, you go play number 10." And I was like, the first one, I was like, I looked round, all right? I look over and to see Flynn pissing himself laughing. Like he's just like, he's pointing at me because obviously the manager's looking at me. He's pointing at me like that. And I'm like, and he's like, "Dave, go play number 10, put on an orange bib." And I was like, and the boys were like, "Hey, that's you, Kev." I was like, "What?" I said, "It's Kev, mate." He goes, "Oh, I thought it was Dave." Honestly, it was so awkward. I thought, like, I was so close to thinking, like, just walk now. Your time's done in football. You're finished. Honestly,
I love managers getting boys' names wrong.
I swear. And in the end, you know what? He turned out to be the most amazing guy, Danny Wilson. Like, manager, person, everything. He was fantastic. You couldn't be more apologetic after it. After I'd eventually signed, because you know what he's like. The banter's then there. He continues to call me Dave each day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until I signed, and then he said, "I apologise for that, but like, listen, we're down to work now. Here we go." Like, so, you know, all fairness to him, from obviously saying to the board, "I want to sign him." Like, he brought my career back on track.
Amazing, mate. What a story that is. Harry Maguire was there. I need to ask you, mate. You probably get asked all the time. Be honest, did you imagine that you'd go on to be the most expensive defender in the world?
No, definitely not. But potential was massively there. Like, he was a big lump of wood at the time. Do you know what I mean? He was stiffer than a board. Like, he was heavy in that. You know what I mean? He looked like have you seen the picture of him with the long hair and stuff like that down at the side, and it looks across? He looks like a school teacher or something. He was honestly
like a goth a wee bit, like he's a
like that. Yeah, he looked horrific. He did, but he always had the potential. His technique and that was fantastic. And once he got sharper on that, he had potential. But I think if you asked him, if you had the chance to ask him himself, he'd say the same. I'm pretty sure most people would. Yeah.
He has got a massive head in it, as Kevin Kyle said. He's a sniper's dream. But would he get slaughtered off the older lads?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Who was it? Chris Morgan, obviously the centre half as well. Big Morgan used to hammer him for it as well, because he did have a big, massive meatball head. You know what I mean? It was huge, and at the time he looks all right now. He looks slim and athletic. At the time, his hair grew out the way. You know what I mean? He had this massive head, but like he done well, to be fair to him. Like, you know, even back then he was doing well. So fair play to the kid.
Was he confident in his ability, kid?
He was confident in his ability. Yeah, he knew he was powerful. He knew he was strong. He knew he could handle the ball. He was brilliant at like what he does now, is stepping out with the ball. And that he was top drawer, and he's went from strength to strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mentioned him. I had to ask you as well. Chris Morgan was the hardest man in the world, wasn't he?
Chris Morgan, man. Yeah, he was. You know, he done his ACL. Someone said done his ACL in like the 16th minute of the game and played 90 minutes when he done his first knee.
What? He played 90 minutes after it?
Yeah, he played the games. That's what they were saying. He done his ACL. I think it was like 20th minute, and then he played the full game. And then after that, he was like, "No, it's fine. Just give me a couple of cocodamol or something." And then played through it. And then next day he was like, "Yeah, you've done your knee, mate."
Mate, I used to laugh. See, we played you once, and they were. It was him and Unsworth had taken over as caretaker manager. Mate, it was like the bushwhackers standing on the side of the pitch, man.
They were huge, weren't they?
Oh, they were huge, mate, but they were heroes, man. I loved the two of them.
Marks was mental, he was, but a great guy. You know, one of them big, like hardy guys, but like, you know, he put everything out there on the pitch. But I tell you, it was scary, man. I wouldn't want to fight him. I'll tell you that. Did
him and Doyle ever have a go at each other?
Not really, no. The only one that really had a bit of a battle was, remember Nick Montgomery?
Yes.
Nick Montgomery, he was a little hard guy as well. Him and Doyle used to have a little kick-up every now and then. That was like one of them ones that was like waiting to erupt. Like, but it never really did. It never came to nothing. They kind of both like, it was mutual respect. You know, they both like wanted to play, and they were both centre mids. But you put them on the opposite team together, they were like battering each other.
See, when you were doing in the Jobby Leagues, obviously you're now Prem and Champ, but was there anyone you played with that you thought would have went on to do better? Like Ched Evans was there, wasn't he? Could he be a Premier League player back in the day?
Chad, the time when he obviously got sent down was on fire. I think he scored like 25 goals and he hadn't played the first 10 games of the season. So he was on fire, he was. But yeah, obviously that happened with him. But if there was anyone that I would say that I played with that should have went on would be him. Yeah, his finishing. You had that, like, you know, them as soon as you get a second, just bang, and it was so powerful, his shots and that. Whereas his finishing was class. Yeah. He's probably the one that stands out to me. Yeah.
Strong boy as well, wasn't he? Mate, you also had Dave Kitson, who splits opinion, man. Like, seems strange to me. He's meant to be the secret footballer. Did he ever mention it?
We tried to get that out of him, and he gave nothing away. You know, nothing. I think it's because, like, in the long run, he wants to be, you know, the PFA, the rep. He wants to be the PFA. He's trying to take over Gordon Taylor's job, I think. So I think
boys are not having it. Boys are not having it.
Nah, the boys aren't having it. No, and you know what? If you get him, he's got a different sense of humour. He's dry, man. Like, you know what I mean. He'd crucify you in a second. But he seemed alright. He came in and he was at the back end of his career. He was on a jolly. He was absolute wedged. You know what I mean. He was chilling.
Yeah. Last person, Barry Robson. How was he when he came down?
Barry Robson was frustrating to play with. To be honest with you, if you had the ball, the only person you could give the ball to was him. Like, he needed the ball at all times. He didn't get the ball. He was moaning all the time. Good guy again. Turned up every day, like, wanting to play and wanting to, like, to do well and stuff. But he was one of them ones. He was constantly wanting the ball, and, like, in the end, it was like, I think a few of the older boys were like, do you know what I mean? Just give it a rest, like, because not everything's got to go through you. Do you know what I mean? But at the time, I'll tell you what, he had a lovely left foot. Yeah. And to be honest with you, he was. I don't know what age he was at the time. He was good, man.
A good player. Right, mate, can I have a story? Can I mention a club without asking you about days out? Talking about the ex-Christmas do away at Port Vale.
Yeah, so the Port Vale was, I think the Carlisle was the Glasgow Christmas do, but Port Vale one. So we were 1-0 up, 1-0. We were 1-0 down. It was at the Christmas party, and we got told, obviously, it was a replay. I think it was a cup or something. The replay's on the Tuesday if you draw. So it was 1-0 down at about 85 minutes or something like that. And I'm like on the ball, like thinking, right, lads, come on, FA Cup here. We're not going to win it. Just take it easy a bit here, right? Got young boys enthusiastic, like bombing down, like, we've got to get goals. You know, the manager's on us, Big Danny Wilson's on us. Let's go, all out attack. We've got about 5 up front. We scored about 89th minute. My head was flying. Everyone's celebrating. I'm like walking like that to them to celebrate. I was fuming. I was. Flinny came past me. He goes, "Kev, can you believe this?" And me and Flinny were on the pitch like, "Oh my fucking god, what are we doing?" Like, I'm at this point. The most important thing is a Christmas party. I've planned the night out. I'm ready, like, you know, as you do on Christmas parties. You know what it's like the game before. So that's that. I'm like that. So you've got to draw. I'm like, you know, my head's flying. It is. And suddenly from nowhere, it comes to the 93rd minute. I can't remember. It's like a cross comes in the box, and like bang, someone scored for us. The celebrations were mad. Honestly, I must have done about 3K celebrations. I was like running around. I think I had my top off at one point, like swinging it around. I think it scored in that hand. Someone else scored. Me and Flinny were like celebrating so much. Came in the changing room after the game. Danny Wilson goes, "Well, Kev, clearly you and Flinny have got something planned for this Christmas party, because that was incredible celebrations."
Was that the Christmas do that you eggy off the police?
Yeah. So that was that one. So that was obviously That was obviously the game, obviously leading up. So we went up to, I think it was that Christmas party. Anyway, it was one of the ones after. We went up to Glasgow for the Christmas party. Had a right old weekend up there, as you can imagine. You know, your fancy dress and so on, so on. And on the way back home, you know when you're battered on the way home and you're like everyone's hungover, there's not a word said.
Yeah.
Somehow we decided to play Eggy Boff on the train, like with our tickets.
Tell people what Eggy Boff is, because it's just an English thing, mate. People don't play it in Scotland.
So I don't know, right? Yeah. But Eggy Boff obviously is when like someone tries to speak to you and no one says a word back to them.
Yeah. So you're ignoring somebody, yeah.
Completely ignoring someone. So a train conductor's obviously coming up to us, so they're saying, asking for the tickets, and we don't say a word. So there's 5 of us on the train. I can't remember who. I all know it was me and Flynn is obviously the main. Chris Porter it was. Chris Porter, because I remember what happens in the end. So the train conductor comes over. Tickets, please. All of us, just like that. Tickets, please, boys. This is like, we've left Glasgow, we've got done. It comes out about Manchester it was. And no one, I'm looking at Flinny straight in the eye. He's dying to laugh. Chris Porter was like, kind of like, he was nervous about it, but we're doing it. Like, I don't know how we've got the energy to do this after 2 days on the bender. Keeps on going. Right, boys, last chance. Tickets, please. None of us. Just continuous. He goes, right, boys, well, next stop you're getting off at. Tries to get us off at the next stop. But by this point, we're down like Sheffield way or whatever it is. I don't know where we are at this point. Like, right, lads, next. We'll see the yellow jackets coming down. We're like, oh, shit, now. What we're doing? I'm like, boys, I'm not speaking. I guarantee you I'm not saying a word. Flynn is like, nah, I'm not saying it either. Please come in. Tickets, please. Nothing. Not a single word from anyone. Even Chris Porter, he's a bag of nerves, so he's shaking. Last time the boys, right, we're going to go to get you off the train here now. I'm looking at, by this point, my face is gone. I need to put my head down. Tickets, please. Wait. Chris Porter's like, oh, sorry. They chucked us off the train, mate. Looked at where we got off the train. We're in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where it was. Not a clue. There was no, you know that when there's no like nothing at the train station at all. There was nothing. We're like, oh yeah, you're banned for the rest of the trains. You know the worst thing is we got on the next train, right? Got on the next train again. Tickets, please. We've done it again. We done it again, Iggy Bob, and in the end, we eventually had the tickets. So it was like, right, we've got to stop now. Meant to be a 4-hour train journey. It took us about 7 hours.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I love that shit. Need to ask you as well. You got beat in the playoff final. Was that the Huddersfield? Gary Roberts, Tommy Miller, and that.
Huddersfield, yeah, they were a good team at the time. Obviously, we were good as well, but we'd lost. I think we'd lost Ched at the point, which was our be all and end all. You know, he was our goal scorer. And then that was a hard one to take. I was on the bench. No, I got injured actually. The semi-final got injured. So that was a tough one to take because it went to penalties. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about Steve Simonson? What did he do?
Well, first of all, there was Andy Taylor. So Andy Taylor, people probably won't know him. Left back, right? Lovely left foot, as all left footers do somehow. And 190. It went obviously through extra time. It was game done, extra time done. Went to 119th minute. It was big. I think it was it Danny Wilson? No, I don't know. I think it was Danny Wilson. I'm not too sure who the manager was at the time.
That was Danny Wilson, mate. I remember watching the game.
Yeah, Danny Wilson, the manager at the time, took off Nick Montgomery, the captain, to put on Andy Taylor because he's got a bang of our left foot. All right, we go like 2-0 up on the penalties. So we're like, right, Tails is next. We're cruising here. They missed and that whatever. We've got I think we had the penalty to win. Maybe I think. Tails walks up, misses the penalty. He got brought on to take a penalty, missed the penalty. We were like, what? We are all like, come on, man. Like, we're just looking at him. You know, like, not normally when they come back to the halfway, like, oh, unlucky in that. Boys were just giving him a death stare. I was like, what are you doing, mate? So that was that. Unfortunately, it went on. I don't know if you remember the game. The penalties went on and on until it went to the goalkeepers it went down to. And Steve Simonson, our goal, ended up missing. All right? He's out of contract, he was, after this. So, missed the penalty, skied over the bar. We were all devastated, you know, what a chance to get to the championship. We walked in, Simo, honestly, I'm not joking, was gone within about 5 minutes. Gone. We were all sat there, just sat, sad as anything. Went through the showers, got himself in the shower and that. He didn't speak to anyone anyway. He didn't really bother. Got a shower and that and stuff. All right, see you later on, boys. We're like,
no way.
What?
Wow.
Like, this just happened. Like Chris Morgs and Nick Montgomery were like, you know, you can imagine what they're saying, you know what I mean? They're cursing him. Just got off, man. 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes. And it wasn't even like, sorry, lads, like, all the best for your careers. See you, boys. Walked.
What, and you've never seen him again?
Never seen him. I never heard from him again in my life.
Mate, I've been beating a playoff final at Wembley. It's terrible, isn't it?
Disgusting, man. It's the worst feeling in the world, you know what I mean? You know the worst thing is, I think the worst thing about it is the other team celebrating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Horrible. Right, last one on Sheffield United, mate. Was it Leeds Festival?
Leeds Festival was a good one, yeah. Went to Leeds Festival, obviously. Somehow I should do it.
I love how you're sitting in that water, like trying to go against everything you've said on this show.
I was going to take a beer. My missus said I can't take a beer. I was like, you all right? And Leeds Festival, we went to Leeds Festival. Had a great time. Like, you know, the first time I'd ever been at a festival in my life.
Who sorted it? The club sorted it, or the boys just
sorted it? Yeah, the club sorted it with, I think it was Virgin was the sponsor of the festival and stuff. So it was me, Dave McAllister, Stevie Quinn, Flinney, and the player liaison went. The player liaison sorted us all out. I went there, got absolutely battered as you do. Got ourselves home and whatever, so on, so on. Next morning, went to go training. Is that right? We played the day before. I think it was what day it runs from Saturdays to Tuesday or something. We played on the Saturday. This was the Sunday we went. And then again, so we walked in and like honestly, the gaffer just looked at us. It was like, wow, we're in deep trouble. Quinny was gone. Like Quinn, I remember looking at coach. You know what these Irish guys are like? He would like you could see it. He's the ginger hair, the red eyes were proper red. Like it's then like he'd been out all day and all night, and which he had been. So he said, right boys, the boys who started are on recovery. So me, Maka, and Quinny are like, oh boss, and Flinny didn't play that game. So Flinny went out to train, right? And Flinny went out. The first thing he done was like he ran out on the pitch, got the ball. Right, and Flinny's technically a lovely player.
Yeah.
Ball got wrapped into him, tried to control the ball, went under his foot. We were like, oh no, Flinny, you just got to get through the session, mate, somehow. He's looking over us. He miscontrolled straight look at us. We were like, oh no. Honestly, I've never seen anything like that because everyone knew it by this point. His next one, he went to pass, he was wide right he was. Went across the ball, missed the ball. I was like, oh wow. What's going on here, Flinny? And he was the nicest guy he was. And in the end, you know, we were just like sat at the side. By this point, Danny Wilson obviously clocked on, like, this guy's gone here. Just said to him, Flinny, mate, just get through it. You should have seen Flinny in the end. All he done was just running. He was trying to avoid the ball at all times. Every time the ball came to him, just trying to best get away with it. He was the worst performance I've ever seen from him in my entire life.
Tremendous, mate. That's what I saw about it. I remember playing against you, Kev. You were flying at Sheffield United. Such a massive club, mate. Were you not tempted to stay?
Yeah, I was. To be fair, we give them like plenty of chances. Like they gave me a chance back in football as such. You know what I mean? I owed so much to them and Danny Wilson especially. And when it came to the end of it, it was an awkward one because who just went in was David Weir, and he'd set me up to play for somehow he was playing me in number 10 role, and I'd never been like
Big
that.
Big Dave back in number 10.
Big David Weir was he put me in number 10. I was like,
no, I'm saying you remember Danny Wilson saying David go and play number 10.
Yeah, so Big Dave was in number 10. I was like, oh, like, you know, you're number 10 role. This is amazing. This is. So he put me in the number 10, and yeah, Big Dave in the number 10. And first game of the season, I scored an assist, and I thought, I've got a new lease of life here. This is amazing because David Weir was basing everything around me. Like it was an amazing time for me, to be honest with you. And then it came in that Wolves were interested in me. I'd seen it before. My agent said they're interested. They're going to make a bid for you. I was like, right, okay, like no problem. Like what we're saying, it's a huge club. You can't turn it down, Kev. So I delayed Wolves for about a week. I did, a week probably more, and gave Sheffield United chance after chance to offer a new contract because Wolves were offering a good contract, and they knew they got me from Burnley and they obviously offered me less wages, so they didn't want to offer a big contract to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they were like kind of like refusing to do that. And in the end, I spoke to the manager, David Weir, and he was quite upset, to be fair. Like I felt sorry for him. I was like, listen, I've got to go. Like, and he planned the whole pre-season around me. The whole team was all around me, and then I left. He's like, listen, you got to do. Like, I've tried my best for you. They're just not going to give you the money. So that was that, and it was a bad ending at Sheffield United. A lot of people at Sheffield United don't like me.
Oh, really? Right?
A lot of fans and that are like, I've played before. Like, obviously when I went back with Wolves, and I've stayed up in Sheffield because I had friends there. Stayed in the hotel after it. The hotel's right beside the stadium, right across the road. So I went in after the game and that, and I need to be like escorted out in that before. Sheffield United fans just like absolutely crucifying me and stuff, throwing things. I'm like, come on, man, relax.
God's sake.
So I didn't go down well, to be honest with you.
You just on that, Kev. See with Davy Weir, did you expect him to go and be a top manager for what you seen in the time you had with him?
No, I think it was more with David Weir. I thought he seemed more of a coach. He'd be a good first team coach, I think. I don't think that's what he's doing now. I'm not sure, but he was a good first team coach. He was. Right,
mate. So Wolves, what a club as well, eh? You buzzing to sign for it again? Another massive club.
Wasn't, yeah. This was when, like, after that, I was like confident now, and that's where I'd probably say my career kind of take a good turn for me. There was like back end of Sheffield United, and obviously moving to Wolves. Kenny Jackett, who put obviously huge faith in building a team kind of around me as such, and dropped me complete. So obviously, I went from playing Big Dave in number 10 to went to Wolves, and he was like, I see as a number 4, like just kind of dictating the play from deep, and I was like, okay, well, I'm all right with that, but you know, I need a bit obviously kind of change my game a bit. So he kind of built it kind of around me as such. It was a great move at the time. I was buzzing with it, to be honest with you.
What's Kenny Jackett like, man? I'm going to be honest, right? Great record he's got, and he does well at every club. But see, when you see him from afar, he doesn't look like he's got much personality or enthusiasm. How does he do so well?
He's a football man. That's it. He's got no signs of banter. Like, he couldn't be more opposite from Owen Coyle. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was all tactics. So everything was about getting the benefit of your team every week in, week out, and that's the way he was. You could have a little bit of banter with him, but Not much. He didn't give much away at all, to be honest with you. But what he was a good, solid manager, and he knew how to get results. That was all about him.
That's the best I've seen you play, mate, when you were at Wolves. What was that doing to?
Probably that perm I had. I don't know.
That's shocking.
Horrific, wasn't it? I look at the pictures now down there. It's horrific, man. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking. Nah.
Was it good players there, though, Kev?
Sorry.
Was there good players there?
Good players, like people that again, like you don't know loads in Scotland and stuff. You know what I mean? Like people like Bakary Sako, Nua Dicko, Benica Phobie. These people who had a front three of just like fast players, technically good and fast players who were only going to come on to better things. Like at the time when I was there, we had people who were at a club waiting to go to a bigger club. That's what Kenny Jackett got. He got good with that because he had. I had like myself the potential to do that. Carl Hakimi, Richard Stearman. You know, there was a good few players to go on and obviously progress their careers. So he inherited a great squad. He did, and brought in obviously a couple of his own players. So we had them front three were devastating, to be honest with you. You ask any centre half that you put against them. Do you know what I mean? They were a big problem for other teams.
First half of the season, Lee Griffiths was there. What was it like sharing the dressing room with some boy, innit?
Some boy, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen someone go from a training ground so quick before in my life. He hated the place. Hated it. All he wanted to do was get back to Scotland. Whatever. I came in and I was like, there was no other Scottish people at the club. I thought, oh, buzzing, Griff's there, buzzing. I'll have a good chat with him and stuff. I spoke to him between hours and that was it. He just wanted to get off at all times. He was like, we'd come in from training at say 12 o'clock. My man was out at 12:10. No interest. Every single day, when I speak to him, he's like, I just want to go back to play at Hibs or Celtic or whatever. He just used to continue to say it. And he forced him out.
Sorry to interrupt you. What did he not like? Was it living away from home?
Living away from home, I think he had 4 kids or something. No, I don't know. He's got a few kids, I know. Something like that. And he hated it. I spoke to him about it. He goes, I just hate it. He goes, all I want to do is go home. Every time he'd go home on a Tuesday and come back on a Wednesday night and stuff. Right. Like he just didn't enjoy being down there, to be honest with you. And I don't think he didn't take time to get on with anyone either. Do you know what I mean? Like you know yourself, you got to adapt, you got to speak to people, and you got to kind of mix a bit. And he didn't want to do that. Right. And in the end, he got what he wanted to do. He forced the move and got it.
Leon Clark was there as well, mate. I played him. Mate, he was the only guy I've ever seen that used to argue back with the Canny. Was he similar there?
Yeah, I heard that before I actually spoke to him about it because I'm friends with Clarkie. Like, still, he's I liked him. He's a good guy, Clarkie is. But he was another one again. He loved to moan up, Clarkie did. He always liked to moan about something. But he got signed for, like, at the time, decent money and came in and bagged a good few goals for us. And to be fair to him, he just loved it. He was on a jolly up, he was. He just loved it. He knew he was going to score goals. He was in League One. He was too good for League One at the time. And every time he got a chance, he'd score. And it didn't really go his way at Wolves, to be honest with you. The fans were on him and stuff for some reason. I don't know why, but he was a good guy, and he was in a few arguments, but he was a funny guy, man.
Wow, man. Right, mate. Dublin pre-season trip. How was it?
Yeah, Dublin was a good one again. Like as soon as you see Dublin, you automatically smile because you're automatically thinking go down to Temple Bar and get battered. So as soon as we seen Dublin, it was like, right, okay. The manager said, right, you've got half a day off, or you got the day off, or whatever it was. So a few of the boys went and played golf and that, and it was like a group of us, me, Danny Bath, Carl Hakimi, Aaron McCary, these type of guys. Is that right, boys? That automatic look was like, yeah, like, let's go to Temple Bar, as you do. So we got this little coach down to Dublin City Centre. The manager was there, the assistant manager, the coach. They went away. I think they went and done the same, but went down to Temple Bar, and where did we go? I think it was big Carl Hakimi, who was a big tank at the time, the big goalie, and he was just like, let's just get steaming, shall we? Like, but they said you only have a couple of drinks maximum. You're like, the bus is picking us up at 6 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? So we're like, all right, what can we fit in? Honestly, there was no one in the pub at the time. We got down there at 12 o'clock. Carl goes over and orders like 6 Jaegers and 6 pints for the 6 guys that were there. I was like, oh my God. By this time, Wolves were a good bunch of lads, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going there, absolutely steaming, man. Like, there's a guy, at Dublin's, like, there's a guy singing. We've got one of the Scotty Goldburns up singing at 1 o'clock during the day. It's like, come on, man, this can't be happening here. It cannot be. Just can't happen. Do you know what I mean? You've got 5 hours off. You're trusted to go and just kind of enjoy yourselves, but not too much. Comes to later on in the day, but by this point, with no one stopping. Stearman's having a great time. We're all having a great time, and so on and so on. And then it comes about 6 o'clock, bus comes, right, to pick us up. By this point, Danny Bath's absolutely gone, he is. Like, and he doesn't get like that. He's like, he's the captain of the club. He kind of goes, but then stays. He's gone. So we got on the coach. The staff that are already on the bus waiting. They're like, all right, boys, it's happening. Like, you know, a bit chirpy. Big Danny Bath at the back of the bus, sick everywhere. We're like, what? Danny, what are you doing, mate?
Are you trying to hide him? He's trying to hide him.
I'm trying to hide him, but the guy's 94 kilograms, he's 6'5". Honestly, we're trying to like carry him onto the seat. He's put like lying on the ground. He's lying in his own sick and stuff. It's stinking up the place. The gaffer's turned a blind eye to it. He's not saying anything at all. All right, we get back to the hotel. Walk into it. We managed to get it back. Dragged him in the hotel. We need to go for dinner. You didn't need to go for dinner. All right, and then went back there. Went for dinner. We said, right, like, that's what we're doing then. So a couple of older boys were like, a couple of the senior boys, like Keems and that, were like, we're not going to go out. So there's another group of young boys, me, like Pricey and that, Ethan and stuff. So we're like, should we go back out? Fuck this, let's go, man. So we all like done like a Mission Impossible stuff. We thought we're clearly getting seen. We were steaming. We were like, clearly got seen. Ran out the front of the side of the hotel exit door, like jumping over walls, that like looking over to see where we all were and stuff. Got there, managed to got in touch with a taxi, got ourselves into Dublin somehow. We're walking into the place, going to the Dublin Temple Bar, the same place again. There's 16 of the other boys already there. We're like, what? What's happening here, boys? And we're like part of the group. We're good guys and that. We're like, what's happened here? So these boys, we weren't sure these boys were going to come. Mate, honestly, we got absolutely hammered. All right, the karaoke was on, all sorts. It was one of the best nights we had. Went to Thingy the next day. Went to that was that. Got back about 4 in the morning and stuff. You weren't allowed to go out. Then the next day, woke up, all our alarms off in the room. 5 o'clock. Right, boys. I know we're running on the beach. It was devastating. It was. You know what? Stairs would like. I can't remember what Stairs was doing. I can't remember what he was. He didn't turn up. Gaff was absolutely fuming. He was, and we had the greatest time. Sneaked out in that best time ever. And then we need to go and do an hour run on the beach. It was devastating. It was, honestly.
Mate, that's what pre-season's for, isn't it?
That's what it is. Excuse me. That's exactly what it was about. And we had plenty of times with golf days and stuff like that. And you know what it's like, you're sneaking in like a lot of whiskies and that in your golf bag and that. It was class. It was a great time to us.
Mate, these teams always do well, eh? You went on and rocked at League One. Mate, how good does that know when you're playing for a club like Wolves in League One? You're winning every week. Like, life doesn't get any better, mate.
Every week, like by that point, Wolves had been invested with good money and stuff, so we're all financial. I'd built myself back up to a good salary and stuff again. So it was class. It was like, and you were winning games at 3/4 pace, half pace. We were going away to teams, drilling them and absolutely like banging into them like 4 or 5-0 and stuff. And you knew if teams scored against you, you knew you were going to score. You knew there was goals, and to win, obviously, I think we had 100 and something points. And do you know what I mean? It was easy. That's the thing. It turned into easy. That's when we were like, we need to make this step up. We need to win this league here. You know what I mean?
How good's the fans at Wolves, Kev?
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, really good. When things are going for you, of course, like they're really good. But it can get on your backs, like because we were such a huge team in League One. I remember we played. I can't think it was. We played someone at home, right? We were winning 1-0, and like we were top of the league. We were winning 1-0. We got booed off the pitch at half time because we hadn't played a great game. We're like, come on, man! Like, are you all right? And in the end, like, there was a lot of pressure at Wolves. Like, they expected you. They expect to be a Premier League club where they are now. They expected to bang out games every single week. And it was amazing when things were going good. It was amazing when things were going bad. It wasn't an easy place to play.
How do you find that, Kev? When it is tough for fans, does it bother you? Do you get nervous at it?
I'm quite laid back in that sense, but I can see that it affects other people, and that's what the problem is. When it affects 2-3 of your team, you're 2 men down. Do you know what I mean? Then it becomes a problem, and they don't realise that. All they see is wins. They don't see if Nua Dicko is getting affected by what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? They just see, we want 3 points, simple as that, regardless of their feelings. So yeah, it's tough going, man.
Why do you think the team struggle to get promotion at the Championship?
Probably the intensity of the game, squad depth is probably one of them. You know what I mean? You have to have a good squad. You have to have a good set of players that can come off the bench. I think probably a lot of teams struggle with that. Like if you get a couple of injuries, you see teams going from high to just slowly come down the league. So I think it's probably part to do that. And it's a tough season. Like you know what it's like yourself. Like you go play some of these teams and like these people like see, like say for example Millwall away. Actually, Millwall's away is known as a tough one. Like they see like I don't know, a Birmingham away, and you think, oh, you should win these games. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like that's what gets underrated in Scotland about is the Championship. About like people think in Scotland for somehow like the Championship's like a terrible league as such. Some good teams and some good players in there, and it's hard to play away from home in some of them stadiums.
Definitely. So again, why move for Wolves? Because again, you're playing every week, doing well. Fulham just too big to turn down again.
You know what happened with Wolves was a strange one. Like I played every game for Kenny Jackett. Like every game, week in, week out, 1, 2, 2.5 seasons. Apart from when you got a little injuries and stuff. And Kenny Jackett's one game it came to it, and I was like, I wasn't in the squad. I was like, what's happened there? Like, do you know what I mean? I was sat expecting to probably play. I'd be on the bench or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't in the squad, and I was like, obviously, I didn't say anything at the time. I was like, come on, what's going on here? I went to see the manager. He was like, mate, he was like, yeah, you're good. I think we're going to sell you. And I was like, what? Like, he's like, obviously, I'd done well for the club and that. He's like, yeah, I think we're going to sell you. The club want to get rid of you in the summer. Because obviously, I'd signed a new contract at the start of the season. I said, mate, you just gave me extra wages and stuff this season. Because I was meant to go to Fulham the year before. I don't know if you know that. I was meant to go to Fulham the year before. I came out in an interview and said, like, I want to leave before. Which obviously went down well.
It didn't like a shit sandwich, Do you know
what I mean? With the Wolves fans, that didn't go down well. So there was like a big split on me there. And then in the end, it came to them 10 games. And I was like, I played, I don't know, 110 games for Wolves. Bang, never to be seen again. That was that. And it was a strange situation. It was, strange situation. I honestly had no clue. Spoke to my agent. I said, yeah, listen, I think they're going to try and sell you to Fulham in the summer.
See, at that time, Kev, did you want to leave? I know you said the season before you did, but when?
No, not that time. I signed a new contract. I was ready to stay. I think I was looking to buy a house and stuff, and then suddenly, like, it was like, all right, I had another 2 years or 3 years left of my contract. I was like, all right, okay, well, what's happening here? So I think that's when obviously the owners were coming in. The Portuguese owners they then came in after that season. So I think they knew they were going to plan to get rid of people. So I think that's what that was. And in the end, I spoke to the manager because me and Kenny got on well, and he said, yeah, listen, I'm going to sell you. And then that was that. And then after that, it kind of went through a pre-season and stuff, and that was kind of that, really.
So you're going to sign for Fulham. What did you do the night before?
Yeah, well, bearing in mind, I didn't know I was going to sign for Fulham at the time.
Right. Okay. So tell us your story then, full story.
So we had our pre-season trip in Wolves, and by this time it was quite strange. It was because it was like Kenny had started to put me back in the team a bit. Who was getting released was Connor Cody, who's now played every game for them as captain.
Wait, sorry. So he was going to be getting released?
He'd been told he was gone. He was finished. Like Kenny didn't want him at all, and then he was away to go and stuff. And then obviously in the end it was me that went. What happened was these Portuguese owners, they knew they were ready to come in. Portuguese owners were ready to come in, and they said, no, we want to keep Connor Cody. So Connor Cody got kept. Well, now he's captain the Premier League every single game. Do you know what I mean?
He's swinging balls about in the Premier League, mate.
Do you know what I mean? He's sat back in centre of a three, just zipping the ball around. I'm not sat on the bench every week. So that was that. So I was like, right, okay. So like in the end, that was that. So what happened was it was last night out. We had the pre-season and stuff, and I thought all was going well. I played most of the games and that, and then had a team night out that night, as you do. Like, it was a messy session, to be honest with you. But one of the ones where no one wants it to stop. I never knew it was going to be my last night at Wolves, but we never wanted to stop regardless. We were like, me, Keems and Price and that were back at the room partying and whatever else. They don't went to bed till about 7 in the morning. Like, one hell of a time it was. And then woke up at 11 o'clock in the morning and had about 5 minutes calls from my agent, and I thought, what's happening here? That's not good. And then got up eventually, went and had breakfast and stuff, phoned him back, said, what's happening, you know? He was like, Kev, well, you're going. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, mate, get ready, you're going to Fulham. I was like, mate, you got to delay this somehow. You have to delay this. He's like, what do you mean? He said, well, I had a team night out last night, mate, I'm gone. You should see the state of me. I sent him a selfie, lying in bed, just like that, just all over the gaff. He goes, Kev, mate, they're not waiting. Like, they've been trying to do this for the past week. Wolves have eventually said, yeah. Bear in mind, I've got nothing a clue about this. So I'm like, what? Like, so that was that. So,
but can I just say something? If you didn't know about it, you still would have went on the night out.
100%. I probably would have even more. I would have went hard. So that was that. So I'm not going to clothes. I had my clothes on the night out. We've got kebab stains. They've got all sorts down there. I can't wear them. So I rock up. I get on a flight. I played the Fulham paid for me a flight to come on. Got on the flight. Got over to London. Met my agent. Met the player liaison. Took me to the training ground. I'm rocking up to the Fulham training ground with a Wolves tracksuit on. I remember seeing the cleaners and stuff looking like Fulham were away. Fulham were already on pre-season. They're like, who's this guy? I'm rocking up there like big perm and that. Like no one has a clue who I am. Wolves tracksuit on. Walked in there and that. I was like, met everyone. So and so on. Done your tests, done all physicals. Went through the doctor's one. Obviously, you got all the doctor's tests. Went through. You get your blood pressure. Blood pressure was meant to be like 130s over 70s. Rocked up. I was 184 over 100. They were like, the doc. I remember the doc's face clearly because I'm good friends with the doc now. It was like he done it. It was like looking at the screen. It was like, okay, what's wrong? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, look at your blood pressure. All right. And bear in mind, I'm stinking up the gaff. Like I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not smelling fresh. I've tried to spray whatever like aftershave, but it's not happening. He goes, Kev, that's not right, mate. Done it again. It's like went down like by like 184 to 175. He goes, Kev, mate, we need to delay this somehow. That's not right. Wow. Blood pressure was sky high, mate. So that was that. So I went to the docs thingies and that, and in the end, he took my bloods and that as well. Obviously, in the long run, my bloods and everything were fine. But he said, like when I first came, my blood tests, my blood pressure, everything was off the scales because of alcohol.
That's tremendous. Mate, I can't believe, like, see, that was me. If Fulham came in for me, mate, I would be off. That's my dream club. Like, it looked like the best club ever to play for. Man, like old stadium. Yeah, it's in a wee house in the state, isn't it?
Yeah. You know that wee house in the state. Every house is about 1.5.
Is it?
Yeah, the money in that area is mad. Like the money is madness. It's a great set of fans. You know what I mean? What they want is they want good football played. They want to go there and they want to enjoy themselves. And as you said, they're all got a bit of money. They want to just go and enjoy themselves and watch nice football. And that's what the club has always done since I've been there. Like they play some lovely football, but it's a different football. It's a different like setup compared to any like your Wolves and stuff. Yeah. I took a corner one day, right? I was I don't know how I was ever on the corner. I think I tried to take a quick corner or something. I don't know, I got carried away. All right, and I looked to my left-hand side, and I told the boys straight after in the dressing room after I think we won 2-1, whatever it was. And I looked to the left-hand side, and this guy had a book and a glass of prosecco. All right, and I was thinking, I looked at him for about 10 seconds, all right, and I thought, like, is he all right here? And like, you know, they're all like quite posh. I thought, is this guy actually serious? All right, he had his legs crossed and everything, having the time of his life. All right, reading his book, he put the book like that flat to watch me take a corner. I skied the corner, all right. Lifted his book back up, and that was him. Just reading the book again, and just looked up every now and then. As I ran back, I just kept on looking, and he was back on the book again. It was madness.
My type of guy, mate. That's unbelievable. Right, Kev, when you signed it was Jukanovic. Now, mate, see, again, looking for the outside, he looks like a screwball, man. He looks like he's got an AK-47 in his jacket. Is he a hard man to please?
No, you'd be surprised, you know. Not a hard man to please, but a hard man, yeah. Like... Yeah. Hard man. He wanted the bet at the end of the day. Also, he wanted he knew he could benefit himself from the team he had. He brought in players to play football, and he made me realise what football really was. Like the way he wanted to play was top draw. Like probably the best I've ever seen. Like the way he wanted it was just like free flowing attacking football, and it was amazing. But he had good banter in that. He does. He goes under the radar, but he doesn't show that out in the press.
Nah.
He gives nothing away, and he always has been like that. But when you're on the training ground, he has a laugh and stuff. Loved a beer. He loved a beer and sit and smoke cigars in his room. You'd go and see him. He'd just be up in smoke. He'd be sat there smoking, drinking beer and that. He lived it. He lived a life. He lived on his own here. Family and that was back in Madrid, and he had a great time with him and his staff. He brought obviously staff from Spain and Italy, and they had one hell of a time.
Could he crack though, Kev? Because he does look scary, man.
In a way, but not what you think. Like really, not what you think. He's intimidating, like a good, like solid guy. You think, what you done? He made you intimidated to a certain point, but he would never. I don't remember him ever like crucifying someone like a Kenny Jackett or that. I never remembered that once. He was always constructive. He wanted to get the best out of you. Of course, at times you need to kind of go hard, but not often.
What was he good tactically in that, kid?
Tactically, very good. Like tactically, that's what I'm saying. Like he made me realise so much more to football than what I had experienced in my whole career beforehand. Within first year of being with him, I'd learned so much more just because I'd never played a team who I'd played a team who played football. I never played a team who played real football in terms of like full-backs high, centre-halves wide, like before dropping down and playing and like just movement all over the pitch and all different sequences to get to the final third. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some of the play we had, looking back on them 2 seasons while he was here, was just absolutely brilliant. Like we were having, 15 shots per game. Do you know what I mean? It was just fluent football, and that was all to do with him, to be honest with you. Like he set us up, and again he played me in a position where to benefit the team and obviously himself, and it was brilliant. It was.
You reached the playoff semi-final your first year. Did you know the squad was good enough to make the next step the year after?
Yeah.
Who were the top players, Kev? Who impressed you?
Obviously, Tom Kearney was one of the top ones. Technically lovely, left foot.
Wow.
So when you look back at the team, we had a great team. Obviously, Ryan Fredericks, West Ham now. Sonny Aluko was different class. Like we had a lot. Stefan Johansson. There was a lot of players in different positions. Like all the positions were covered. If someone dropped out, we had like Ollie Norwood and stuff on the bench and that. Do you know what I mean? There was players to come in at all different places, and when we lost a couple of players, we had more to come in, and I think that's what it was. As I said before, strength and depth is key, and we had that all over.
What's Johansson like as a guy?
Yeah, he's all right. He is. Another one. If you don't know him, you could think he's a right old bell, but when you get to know him, he's a funny guy, man. He's just got a different sense of humour,
What about Parker? Because obviously he's a manager now, but he was a player as well. Was he still top class when he was at Fulham?
Joke, honestly, he's a joke. He's probably the best player on the team.
No way.
I swear, he's got these he can hardly move. His left ankle doesn't move. Like when you see him when he runs, it just does not move an inch.
Yeah.
Like when he does, he just cannot. He just can't seem to move at all. But see, like when he comes in and joins in the little games and that, and he's all about the little bounce passes and that, and he's chopping people. He knows himself as well. You can see him. He goes on. He had a fantastic career, and he's still like that now. Honestly, he rips it up sometimes.
Matt Targett as well, playing with Aston Villa. What was he like? Was it the final day of the season at Birmingham?
Last day of the season, the big Tigs again. What a guy! See him, the happiest guy.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a good player.
Left foot again. These left footers, I swear, they're blessed with just incredible left foots. Matt Targett last game of the season, Birmingham. We'd been on a 20. No, that was the season before. No, that was. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, this was. We've been on a 23 game unbeaten run.
Right.
Birmingham away. Matty Targett can't handle it. He can't take the sun. He can't take it well, to be honest with you. He's in deep trouble when that sun's out.
Nice.
So we're playing away and we go like 1-0 down or whatever. It comes to the 40th minute or whatever it is. And boiling hot. Like if we win, we go up pretty much, because Cardiff as well. It's like either team that wins goes up automatic, or the team goes into the playoffs. And the ball goes wide for Birmingham. Gets whipped in the box, right? And I just look, and I was like I seen Tiggs kind of struggling a bit, and I was like, what's he doing there? Ball comes over, he goes to the head of the ball. As he headed the ball, it's like, bleh, and sick flies out his mouth. The ball goes flicks over, but sick flies out his mouth. We're like, Tiggs, what's happening here? We're 1-0 down. I'm on the pitch pissing myself laughing, thinking, Tiggs, man, what's happening? Crawls off the side of the pitch. He's like that. Crawls off the side of the pitch. We were like, no, man, Tiggs, what? Got dragged at half time. It was so funny, man. It was so funny. Went in the dressing room after at half time. We'd just been sick all through half time. Had sunstroke. Need to come off. It's amazing it was.
What a guy, that's amazing. Right, mate, we're going to the playoff final. As I said, you never played in the one for Burnley. Talk us through the full day. Obviously, you know you're going to play. Did you feel like you were better than Aston Villa?
Yeah. We went in with a confidence and an arrogance of knowing, because we played that we'd won 23 or unbeaten 23, and we'd beat Derby in the end. We got beat the first game, but we were in such control. We were so confident going into the game. I remember speaking to the lads, and all of us were like, we're winning this game. We're not coming out here without a win. It was meant to be as such. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it was. We were relaxed. We played cards the night before. I lost about 600 quid. My head was flying. And then rocked up the next day and that. And you do get a little bit nervous as you do, as you do when obviously you walk out in front of 90,000 fans. But we were in quite a relaxed mood. Slav made a good little kind of speech at the start saying, listen, if you go and play the way you play, you win this game. Simple as that. That's it, done. they're not good enough for us over the pitch. They had some incredible players playing, but they didn't have what we had all over the pitch.
Who was good for Villa? John Terry was obviously still playing. What was he like to play against?
You know what? I've got an odd one with John Terry. You know what? Because he had such a great career and stuff, and like the disrespect he had for TC at the start of the game was madness. I couldn't believe it. Like
TC,
Tom Kearney.
Right.
Like at the start of the game, obviously when the two captains come together, and like to play a final, like listen, nothing's personal. Like come on, man. So they both had the the pen and things.
Yeah.
So TC goes up and TC's soft. So he's soft, man.
He loves himself, doesn't he?
Loves him. He's soft as shit he is. So goes up, toss the coin, that bang over, and he goes to give him the pennant, and JT just doesn't take it. And I seen it, and I was like looking at it and thinking to myself, like, come on, mate. And TC, like a little boy's like just like that. Here, sir. Like just sat there, like stood there, sorry. And I'm like, come on, man. Wait, what's gonna happen here? And like nothing happened. TC literally had it like that, and then like just turned around, just like looking for like a reassurance, and no one could give nothing. Like by this time, I'm kind of laughing, but at the same time, thinking, "Come on, JT, you're so much better than that." TC needed to walk off the pitch with his own pennant and give it to our kit man. Crucified him.
I see. To be fair to Terry's probably knows that yous are better, and he's just trying to get in. He knows that Kearney's a big threat. He's trying to get in his head, isn't he?
And he did get in his head a bit. He did get in his head, but in the end, TC got the last laugh. He scored the winner, and that was that. Do you know what I mean? But I just thought like that. It's a bit, you know what I mean? John Terry playing for Aston Villa. He's won Champions League or whatever. He's done whatever he's done in his career. He doesn't need to do that. Yeah. But apart from that,
I need to disagree. I think that's decent.
No, now looking back, I'm buzzing with it. But at the time, I was like, "Come on, mate! Like, just show a bit of respect." But apart from that, Grealish was top. I was chasing him around the pitch all day. Honestly, it was such a bollock. It was.
Were you directly up against Grealish, Kev?
Pretty much, yeah. Because he kind of floated in around the 10 and off the left, and like. To be fair, I think there was about 3 of us on him at one point, and we couldn't get close to him, to be fair to the kid. But at the end of the day, they needed more than him on the day. Do you know what I mean? They relied on him. Snods was there as well. I think Snods was obviously up at it as well. But like, you know what I mean? They needed much more than that, obviously, because we were strong as a team then.
Yeah, what a team you were. And then obviously, as I say, you weren't involved in the final before. How good is it when you've played the full game and the final whistle goes?
It was amazing.
Did Mum and Dad not doing again? Is the family done?
Family and that were down. Friends went in. No, my family was there. Obviously, by this point, I wasn't. I was away engaged. I was away to propose that year. I think. Can't remember. I was away to propose that year. I was. So all my family that were there, Mrs. family that were there as well. And you know what? It was so much more emotional, that one was, than when I won at Burnley, because I was just on an absolute jolly up. Like it was more just like buzzing, just like a natural buzz. But this one was like I took it all in and that, and like I took it more because I'd played 90 minutes. We got a boy sent off and stuff, and the feeling was just incredible. Like it really was. It was top drawer to see them and see the videos and that afterwards of all my family and stuff in the crowd, and obviously the whole 45,000 fans we've got was something you'll never forget. You know, we took full advantage of that, and we. You know, I mean, we were out on the pitch for a while and in the dressing room celebrating for a long time, and it was one hell of a summer, I'll tell you that.
Can see when that happens, Kev, do you ever think back to getting rejected for Doncaster at a trial?
Honestly, the amount of times I look
at... Do you think that, though? Like, see the dressing room after the game, do you think about the bad times, or is it just, you're just in such a high? Originally, not really, because you're on such a high, like, there's nothing bringing you down, apart from when I got called in to do the drug testing straight away, my head was gone. You know what it's like, you can't go in and celebrate. Yeah. So I went out, as soon as I left the pitch to go inside, they're like, you got to come straight into the drug test. So I just ran straight back out. So it was like, that was the kind of one annoying bit. But like looking back, like you do look back at times like your Doncasters and stuff like that. And you look back in a kind of like a proud way in terms of like, because I was at rock bottom, not rock bottom, of course I'm not at rock bottom. There's people in so much worse aspects of life than me. And I'm so fortunate in so many ways. But like, to be in deep trouble through my own faults in terms of like kind of taking the piss, going out drinking, like gambling, and just enjoying a bachelor's lifestyle. That was it. That's all I was doing for years. And to get back up at a good level, to go up to have the chance of playing in the Premier League was just absolutely fantastic. It was. And then obviously we knew obviously as soon as we got promoted, the first initial one was obviously your double your wages, your bonuses, and so on. But you knew that you had
a trip to LA and Vegas first. Do you know what I mean? That was the main thing for me, was that.
Yeah, amazing. See, they didn't do double-decker bus tours in Fulham, did they? Like Bentley rides in it. Bentley rides in that.
It lasted about 3 minutes as well. No, there was nothing like that. We got promoted. We won the playoff final 26th, I think it was, and we were in LA on the 28th. We were going straight away.
All right. So what did you do that night? Do you go to London that night though?
We went out in London that night. They booked a hotel first of all for us, and then obviously that was civilised with all the families and that, and then we needed to kind of turn the heat up, and then that's when we went to London, go full tilt. One of the guys knows a club owner, and there was about 300 bottles of champagne just getting popped all over the gaff.
Did the gaffer go with you?
No, the gaffer didn't. But him and his boys had a good night. They were in a different club. Him and all like the Spanish and the Italians, they went to somewhere else. But I think they were with their wives and that. So Big Slav was taking it easy. He was.
He's a hero, right, mate? I need to ask you again. Obviously, living in London, some good times that you've had. I think London Xmas party. Was it Winter Wonderland?
Yeah, Winter Wonderland on the Sunday. It was one of the best ones we've had. Like, we've had a great standard of Christmas parties. We had like Amsterdam, Stockholm, London was the first year when no one was really on it until I'd kind of eased myself in and kind of pushed the borders out. So I went to London Christmas party, and as you do, you go fancy dressed. So Marcus Bettinelli, big keeper, loves a fancy dress. Absolutely loves it. Like, I'm talking like takes fancy dresses to a whole new level. All right. So on this year he went dressed as Michael Phelps. Had the full on, like the full outfit, the medals, the swim, the little trunks, the USA tracksuit with the popper so you could rip them off and stuff. Had everything, took it all off. So by this point, well, you know what? It gets messy on the Sunday Winter Wonder. Yeah. There's about 45 teams there. There's obviously all the tourists. I mean, it's chaos. It is, and we are throwing down pints like you've never seen before. You get the big long tables obviously in the middle of it, because the VIP bit's separate. Like, it's quite boring. It is there. There's not really much going on, so you want to go right in amongst the mix. So we're like, to Betts, get yourself swimming then. So Betts is like, what do you mean? Well, like, get down the table, so takes off, yanks off his stuff, got everyone like, I think it was Matty Smith or someone starts going like, let him swim, right? So security guards, no, and then it starts going, USA. The whole place, I'm talking in the vicinity of us, the whole place is going, USA. He's up there, he's got beer like that, pouring it all over himself, ready to go. Got his medals and stuff on, ready to go. And then the security guard stands in front of the table. There was a boo. Yeah, obviously everyone starts going, let him swim. Well, look over to the left of the VIP. There's big Wazza, Wayne Rooney, just stood there, just like the biggest cheeser on his face. He was like that. Like, just so excited he was. Right? Yes. And then Ryan Tunnicliffe knew him. He was beside him. So Wazza was like looking over, like he was desperate to get involved. But he's got to show a face for Man United. Yeah. So, it keeps on going on. USA starts again. By this time, like, everyone's kind of like, you can see people on the tables now jumping up to see what's going on. Betts is ready. By this point, he's wasted about 5 pints, just lubing himself up, ready to go. And in the end, we said to the security guy, look, Wazza wants to see. Like, come on. And look over, everyone's doing USA. There's big Rudy. USA. And he's like that to everyone. And everyone's kind of looking over at him, looking over at Betts. So we're like security guard's got no option but to let him go. Goes down the table, runs from about 10 yards away, flies down the middle of the table, right off the other end. People pouring drinks from everywhere. Do you know, like, when you got like the darts and whatever, like, there's drinks out, crystals and that. Drinks getting thrown in the air. You see Rooney at the far side with a pint of tenants or whatever it is. He's got definitely a tenants Fosters, launching it in and that. It was absolutely brilliant. It was, man.
What a story, mate. Amazing, man.
He was classy, he was. He was saying to Tunners, obviously, Ryan Tunnicliffe, who was beside, he was saying, listen, I'd honestly give all my money to be over there with you boys now, but I can't. He was devastated.
You boys. See, being in London, is there a lot of London days out of here?
There's so many. It's amazing. Like, you've been yourself. Like, there's so many places to go, and if you want to go for a drink at Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll find somewhere.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's always something going on. If it's over Covent Garden Way, or if it's over Shoreditch, there's always some sort of chaos. The amount of times we've had some great times is
amazing.
Dangerous, man.
All right, mate. He's got to the Premier League. Why did you? The manager got sacked as well, which is quite strange, wasn't it?
The manager got sacked. Slav was quite arrogant in terms of he didn't want to change the way we played, and when we knew he needed to change the way to go more defensive, but he was there for a good time. He wanted to play football and he wanted to enjoy watching his team play, and that's what he done. And to be honest, we were so open. Like, where the difference of the Championship and the Premier League is that if if we give chances away in the Championship, they're not punishing you. Tell you what, in the Premier League, goal straight off.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. We were kind of like a Norwich. We were so open at times. Played lovely football, don't get me wrong, but give away a chance and we were just like leaking goals for fun. The amount of goals we let in that season was madness. And in the end, Tony, the owner, obviously the owner said like enough's enough and got rid of him.
Mate, I was going to say the exact same thing, similar to Norwich. Like, see, as players, do you know? See, if I'm a Norwich player, I'm saying to the manager, like we're trying this, we've been beat every week. Can we change it now? Or can...
I remember Norwich watching the first game of the season. They played a couple of nice passes and they got spanked 4-1. I'm like, yeah, but they're still up. They've got some good players and stuff. It's like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You give these players chances and it's game over, and then you see it at the bottom of the league, and that's it.
Right, mate, I had to ask you, because he goes and Ranieri came in. What's Ranieri like? I think his staff as well, you were mentioning to me earlier.
You know what? It was my biggest shock in my whole of football. Biggest shock.
Why?
I'd never seen anything like it in my entire life. We're thinking that you can think of the buzz of a club, a football club in the Premier League, just acquired a Premier League manager winner, a Premier League winner, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we thought, right, here we go, man. We've got a chance of staying up here. This is going to be brilliant, this is, right? First session in, we'll go do the warm-up, all right? All of us in line, just as you do, you know, you're on a jolly up of a warm-up. We're like at a soccer school. Everyone in lines of 6, all right? You need to, like, so when you done, say, hamstring kicks, so the person done hamstring kicks in front of you, the next group and the next group and the next group, everyone was in sync. Like, this is the first day. I've never concentrated so much on a warm-up. I'm like, obviously we're having banter with the boys, like, is this guy all right here? We're like...
So wait, sorry, Ken. Everyone's right foot had to go at the same time, then left foot at the same time.
Not even like fucking not even right and left foot. Like, I'm talking the same legs. So heel flicks. You need to follow him and follow him to your left. Honestly, I was a bag of shit. I was like, no, is this guy bantering? And we were all like, having a laugh, and there's no laughing in that. This is the first day, and we were all, oh wow, this is going to be different. Fitness coach was an absolute whopper. He was like he was so different. He just tried to run the whole place, and it was so different from the way Slav was.
Yeah.
Like, straight away, we knew this was going to be from what we thought was going to be amazing. We thought, right, after a couple of sessions, well, maybe not so. And then, you know what? Like, just it's a hard one. It's a hard one to talk about because, like, he changed the team. Like, we were a football and playing team, and he said in one of his first meetings, "I do not want the ball. I do not want my players to have the ball." And we were all like, as footballers, and we were a good footballing team at the time. Yeah, we're leaking goals for fun. We knew he'd shore that up, but I don't want my players to have the ball. And we were like, I remember Mitro said, "So what do you want us to do then?"
Who said that? Mitrovic?
Mitrovic said, "So what do you want us to do then?" He goes, "I need runners. I want to run. What keeps you up in this league and what wins you this league is running." And we were all looking like, nah, this guy's gone here. Like, he's gone. Like, and straight away I'm thinking, I'm done. I'm finished with him. He's getting rid of me ASAP. So that was that. So in the end, we went out to do training and stuff, and we thought we were used to our normal training. It was runs. Like, this is like Tuesday, Wednesday, like games on Saturday, like we're doing like proper running. I was like, what? This isn't what I expected here. No one expected this. And that was that. Done the team and stuff. And he got rid of all players who wanted to play football and got the fittest people in the team and the fastest people in the team. And that was it. It was like, oh, no, this isn't right here. And that's the way it was with him.
That's how you make me. We used to run on a Thursday as well. You were fucked on a Saturday, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. You were with him as well, weren't you? Like, the kind of...
They loved running, mate. I thought the team at the Canio took over, mate. 5-a-sides. Total football, mate. Running, man. Constant.
He had Mitro running channels and stuff. The guy's never ran a channel in his life. Do you know what I mean? We had a guy, Abu Kamara, who's the fastest player in the Premier League just about, and you're not playing him. You told him he can go. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, and he was... I was gobsmacked. I really was, and I had plenty of arguments with him and stuff, and then his staff and that. The staff and that he brought in were just miles off at some of them.
Well, you can argue with him, Kevin. He's office letter in front of the boys.
Well, a bit of both. He argued a lot with a few of the players. To be fair, like he used to always say, "Trust me" and stuff. And over time, like, your trust goes. Like, you're not winning. You don't look like you're winning. Yeah, you might look like you're not going to concede too many goals, but you don't look like you're going to score a goal. So we had a couple of arguments here and there, which obviously in the end obviously didn't go down well. But
mate, I must say I do love Mitrovic, man.
He's the best player I've played with by far.
Yeah, he's got everything, isn't he?
Everything. He's a tank, 90, 95 kilograms, but it's not. There's no weight on him. He's like solid. Not the sharpest tool in the box, to be fair, but like in terms of in front of goalies, absolutely brilliant. He's holding the ball up, and no one can get near him. But on and off day, he's absolutely shambolic. He is.
What, in training, like?
Oh, the worst player you want on your team. You don't want him to be anyone. You don't even want him to be on the training pitch. You want him nowhere near it.
I love that.
Pass the ball a yard to the side of him, mate. He's not moving.
Does he moan?
Nah, not really. He's not like that. He's a funny guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good. Right, mate. As I say, back Premier League, he's got relegated, but you think you can get back there with Fulham?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the manager that's in there obviously now has got to set up well. We're in a good position at the end of the day. Like where we are now, we're obviously going to be in the playoffs, and you know what it's like over 2-3 games. Anything can happen, especially if you get to Wembley. It's a one-off game, so we've definitely got the talent and the ability to get to the squad. It's just obviously you've got to hold your nerve, and at the end of the day, we're favourites for that because of obviously the money and stuff we've spent. So you got to take advantage.
Yeah. Just last few bit on Scotland, mate. What's your experience has been like working with Scotland? Obviously, Strachan and McLeish enjoyed it.
But with Strachan, in terms of like he wanted to obviously play certain players all the time, and that was that. Like I thought I'd done well enough at times to get a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like and I didn't get a chance till later on. And I used to go up, and I'm not like someone. You know what I mean? I'm not someone who wants to go and sit around. Like I'm not a bench player. I'm not an influence. I'm not going to come on the pitch and win you a game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Things like that. So like, I wasn't really getting a chance. There's times that we would do 11v11, and I was the 23rd man and shit. Like I'm like, you all right, mate? What?
So you were doing 11v11, and you weren't even involved?
There'd be 11v11, and that there'd be like about 3 of us sat on the side to make the numbers up because obviously you took that big of a squad. You can see you call me up for a reason. You got to give me a chance for a reason. And the final one for me was we played someone away. I don't know who it was. Can't remember who it was at all. And it was a friendly game. And he brought on. We had X amount of players in the squad, and he changed the whole 11, changed everyone. That was that done. The only people left on the bench was I think it was about the 16th choice keeper and me. He changed goalies over, and it was myself. So he changed. There's 22 players played, apart from 2. It was the third choice keeper and me.
Wow.
And I was like that, I got back in the dressing room after it, and like the guys were looking at me because they knew obviously I was fuming. And like I'm not really wanting to speak up there and then. I just sat looking at him. I just looked at him. I was like, oh my god, man, you're miles off it. You are. Like the disrespect was madness.
Yeah.
Like, and even the boys knew it without saying anything. I remember Charlie McGrew and that they thought I'd had a cap before, and I hadn't had a cap. Do you know what I mean? Throw me on for 2 minutes or something. That's fine, whatever. The fact is, like, you've changed everyone apart from me. Like, come on, mate. Like, if you think I'm crap, say it. No problem. Yeah. I'll head off. No problem. And after that, I went and pulled him after it and said, listen, mate, like, I don't want to be involved. If I'm going to be taken across to fucking Moldova and be sat on the bench for 120 minutes and that, then leave me out. Like, and that was that.
How did he react to that, kid?
He didn't really take it like great as such, but like he understood at the same time. He apologised. He apologised and stuff, and I said I understand the apology, but like, do you know what I mean? I've travelled, been away here for 10 days. The first one was a qualifier. Fair enough. You don't want to put me on, no problem. But you can't change. Put 22 people on and leave 23 and 24, and one's a third choice keeper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so that was not a confidence blow, but at that point I'm 28 years old or so, and I know I'm doing well and stuff, and I backed myself, and that was a blow. But I'm not one to sit there and not say anything.
Yeah. What about now then, Kev? You looking to get back into the squad now?
Sorry?
You looking to get back into the squad now? New manager?
I've always been open to being involved for sure. Like, but at the end of the day, like if I was playing week in week out in a good championship team, a good team, and not getting picked, I'm like, what else can I do? I'd rather not even be selected. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just get on with my own business because I'm doing well for Fulham, and people can see that we're third in the league, second in the league, and stuff or whatever. And I'm nowhere near getting involved. So like, I've always been open to playing for Scotland. I would never say no to it as such. In terms of if someone called me up now, new manager, and that, then yeah, 100%. But like, there's only so much you can take going on 10 squads and not getting on once at all. It's like it drags after a while.
Yeah. What about the future, mate? After football, was it thinking about coaching?
Yeah, I'm doing coaching badges just now. Yeah, so I enjoy it. Like I enjoy the since I've been sat on this bench this season, which isn't ideal. But I'll tell you one thing: you get good coaching out of it. So there's any positives, silver linings. So that's what I've been doing. I've just taken notes now. I've got my coaching badges and that all set up. Obviously, I was waiting to be close to doing the A license, and then obviously with the COVID, that's put a dent in that. But I'll go in to be a coach, maybe first team coach or manager after football for sure. Well, if someone.
What a hero, but also. What a man. Cheers, Kev.
No problem. Take it easy, mate. Cheers.